What's up guys, this is your favorite fanfic YouTuber, the Fanfic Majesty, and welcome to another amazing video. You can follow me on Patreon for exclusive stories. 8SW Chapter 165, Forbidden Technique Advertisement. Buzzing. An extremely strange energy appeared on the battlefield, making the expressions of the other three shadows startled. What forbidden technique is Sarutobi preparing? The breath is so gloomy and cold. But now, the remaining three shadows are completely unsuccessful. Uchiha Madara has no choice but to drag Madara until Sarutobi erupts. The three looked at each other. It was immediately decided that everyone would release their big moves one by one and delay the time separately. 1 second can be counted as 1 second, Earth-style Gang Lee-style technique. The lowest merged chakra into the ground, and the ground shook suddenly, and a behemoth condensed from the ground. The rock giant looked more than 10 meters away and smashed towards Madara as soon as he appeared. Third Raikage and third Kazekage were dumbfounded, go down. It's not because the rock giant is strong or not. But, this is it. Big move. What we want is a big move. Not this kind of muddy bumps. The two movies were a little disappointed. I thought that 4th Tsuchikage didn't say what kind of dust it inherited, at least it must have a unique blood inheritance limit, right? The result is king from beginning to end, and there is no compound ninjutsu. You are the worst movie we have ever seen. After all, we are very strong in the third session. Thoughts are only for a moment. With this dirt, it is impossible to stop each other effectively. 3rd Kazekage and 3rd Generation I do it at the same time. The strongest armor of lightning style. Hell spikes Yibogan show. Lightning-style chakra mode turns into a substantial armor, which is the strongest shield of 3rd Generation I. Although the right hand was torn, the left hand still turned 5 fingers into 1. The strongest shield plus the strongest spear, magnet-style sand-iron boundary method. 3rd Kazekage uses sand and iron to form large long spines in the air. Densely condensed sand and iron barriers in the sky, pouring down. Boring. The cooperation is too bad, Ban said plainly. As he was about to end the battle, a loud shout came from a distance. Madara, I'm here to save you. Boom. At the moment when the three shadows' moves were about to explode, dozens of huge palms measuring tens of meters appeared on the ground around the three shadows. The sky is dark. Wood-style laughing Buddha jutsu. The huge palm that suddenly appeared made Saning's body stagnate. This is not good. All three of them were surrounded by giant palms, and when they looked up, they saw all the palms suddenly fall. The giant palm that you can control as you like does not give the three of you a chance to react. Boom 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 boom. Dozens of giant hulls covered the three people in all directions, smashing them down again, and bursts of roar resounded across the battlefield. In an instant, the surrounding ground shattered. It is estimated that in addition to 3rd Raikage may be alive, Tsuchikage and Fengying may be broken into pieces. Falling too fast. No chance to escape was left. Seeing the three people being submerged by the giant hull, Uchiha Madara's face turned black. Hashirama. Hey, here it is. Here I am. After suppressing Hashirama, who had become a few spirit beasts, he sat on the head of the meek Shinya, with 3 shivering, trembling shrunken snakes hanging from Shinya's tail. Madara, the 3 of them are terrible. I saved your life. Remember to invite me to dinner tonight. This B*********** D actually grabbed the head. Uchiha Madara could not wait to beat Hashirama violently. Also at this moment, the extremely cold breath swept the audience and attracted the attention of the two. Looking at the gray-haired Sarutobi Hiruzen with his hands folded not far away, Hashirama murmured, the little monkey is so old. Decades passed in a blink of an eye. In all the vicissitudes of life, their respective ideals and positions have also completely changed. But this time is the last war that truly leads to peace. Can't be merciful. After all, I still use this technique. Sarutobi Hiruzen, who is in his 50s, is still less than 69 years old in the original trajectory Chunin exam. But compared to physical exhaustion, his heart is even more tired. At first, Senju Hashirama. Seeing the living Hashirama rushing, Sarutobi Hiruzen's heart is extremely complicated. His depressed heart for more than 10 years broke out again, and he shouted angrily. Why? The former first Hokage, Konoha's patron saint, why join the Demon King's camp? Why do you want to destroy Konoha? Why? Sarutobi growled grimly. He has 100,000 why he wants to know. Since Sannin joined the empire, he has been asking questions in the middle of the night. Why on earth? They were born in Konoha and grew up in Konoha, and they were instilled with the will to protect Konoha from their childhood. But he cultivated so hard, it's no better than an outsider who has only met a few times. Even his former belief in the god of ninjas has become the Demon King's minions. Sarutobi is heartbroken. Konoha. When mentioning Konoha, Guijien had countless memories in his mind, and then he said in a deep voice, for the country of fire, there is no war, and for the children to stop going to the battlefield, this is the original intention of establishing Konoha. But Hashirama's dream was shattered. The ninja world is very big and there are too many careerists. If no one coerced the ninja world, it will only be the 2 laws of short-term peace and war erupting, and will never stop. Didn't you say that human life is limited, what the older generation cannot accomplish, give hope to the future? Sarutobi Hiruzen became more and more angry as he spoke, and roared again, but you helped the demon lord to destroy Konoha and everything. Put away your ridiculous remarks. Uchiha Madara looked at it coldly, and said indifferently with her arms folded, You will remember it for me. I took the word Konoha. Sarutobi's expression froze. I do not know how. By now, it's useless to say anything. I don't know what is going on in the final battlefield, but these two people must not be allowed to help. At least one has to be killed. Buzzing. The cold breath became thick, and that breath seemed to come from hell. A huge phantom appeared behind Sarutobi Hiruzen, weird and gloomy. After Hashirama murmured, he frowned slightly. This technique turned out to be the forbidden technique of the Uzumaki clan. He didn't think the Uzumaki clan would take the initiative to hand over the forbidden technique to Konoha. After all, it was the heritage of the clan. At least, advertisement. Before his death, there was no such technique in Konoha's seal book. Was it taken by Uzumaki Kushina after the destruction of the Uzumaki clan, or was it taken by Konoha? Are found in Uzumaki ruins. Or to say it again, Mito gave it to Konoha before his death. What? Why did I think of Mito? Hashirama frowned. This technique. Also knowing about this technique, Ban became a little interested. Because the Quincy is the natural enemy of Shinigami. And this technique is aimed at the soul. Forbidden technique ghoul sealed out. At this moment, the phantom behind Sarutobi is even more solid. It was a white phantom with blue-faced fangs, exuding a strong breath of death, with a knife in its mouth, and ghost fire surrounding it. If there are other ninjas close, it is enough to make the soul tremble. Interesting. Sitting on the throne of the main hall, Lan Yu felt time and space. At this moment, he also opened his eyes and looked over through the barriers. This, Shinigami. Obviously it is the manifestation of Uzumaki's super powerful seal technique. There is also a Shinigami mask. Of course, all the masks and so on from the Uzumaki ruins were taken away by Kushina more than 10 years ago. But all souls that are sealed can be unblocked with the help of Shinigami masks. However, the seal requires the soul of the caster, and the release of the seal requires the caster to become a sacrifice. After the original trajectory Orochimaru was released, the body was directly abandoned, and living corpse reincarnation replaced one. So, this Shinigami is just a form of sealing the soul, a medium. Lan Yu was a little disappointed. He really hopes that Shinigami is Shinigami. Shinigami has ethnic groups, and Shinigami has many. Unfortunately, it is pure fantasy. 0. Look for flowers. At the same time, wow, Uchiha Madara shot a small divine destruction directly through Shinigami. Sarutobi was shocked, and he was relieved when he saw that Shinigami was okay. Is it the only way? After sensing Shinigami's breath, Uchiha Madara was also disappointed. Can't you give me strength? For example, Shinigami was furious, killed him from an unknown world, danced with him, and fought in March and March. Don't worry, my class can hold it, but you are really rubbish. Go to hell. After sacrificing his soul, Sarutobi Hiruzen was about to target Madara. Shinigami with blue face and fangs moved. He drew the knife from his mouth extremely sharply, dived towards the ball, slashed in the past, cutting off Madara's soul and swallowing it. Look at me Shinigami, kill you in seconds. Knife across. Sarutobi's eyes brightened. Strike again. Sarutobi's expression was slightly startled. It was another knife. No, Shinigami swung the knife again and again, as if he was addicted. Sarutobi was stunned. What's up? The soul of Uchiha Madara. Is it so difficult? Hashirama also became curious. Madara, are you okay? Tell me if it hurts, and I will comfort you. Uchiha Madara was speechless. How does it feel when a baby hits you with a small fist? 0. Small fist? Senju Hashirama looked at his hand, clenched his fist and hammered Madara's shoulder slightly. Is that so? How does my small fist feel? Roll. Flew Hashirama with one kick. Under Sarutobi's incredulous gaze, Madara raised her hands and grabbed it. Caught Shinigami? How can it be? Sarutobi couldn't understand this scene. Shinigami didn't hack the opponent to death. The opponent was still in the mood to hit Hashirama, and he could still grab Shinigami with his bare hands. Sarutobi said that the worldview collapsed, so what is the meaning of his soul sacrifice? Show two people a fancy suicide? Sarutobi, Uzumaki clan, you cheated me. Kushina. I don't talk to fools. Tear, under Sarutobi's shocking gaze, Uchiha Madara tugged with both hands. Just shred Shinigami, extremely brutal, this scene. Makes Sarutobi cold all over. It turns out that the clown is myself. Puff. Shinigami was torn apart, and Sarutobi's soul collapsed. As this death, Sarutobi collapsed to the ground, eyes full of despair and grief, countless memories poured into his mind, and finally turned into a whisper. As long as there is a place where leaves fly, the fire will burn and the shadow of the fire will shine on the village, and let new leaves sprout when you want to protect the person you cherish the most. The true power of the ninja will be shown. Senju Hashirama, who returned, quietly listened to Sarutobi's whisper, without speaking. It seems that Hashirama is listening. Sarutobi exhausted his last strength, and looked back at Hashirama, his eyes full of pleading. Shodai, I beg you to let Konoha go. Hashirama still did not speak. Sarutobi's eyes were suddenly full of pain and sorrow, and he fell powerlessly, and all his breath went to destruction. Also at this time, little monkey, don't worry. Hashirama's voice floated over. Before Sarutobi was completely destroyed, he heard the four most beautiful words in his life. Konoha will live forever. Third Hokage, Sarutobi Hiruzen, die. The Empire, Konoha's scenic area, will last forever. Uchiha Madara raised her brows slightly. I haven't understood until now, what does your majesty mean by the 5 a tourist attraction? Hashirama touched his chin and said, literally, a tourist place. What about level 5A? Surprised, what a surprise you listened to. Righteous. Chapter 166. Kaguya. A slight shot of the concubine's body is already at the limit of the immortal. Advertisement: the 1st Battlefield, 1st Brigade, let's go. After solving the Ninja and Spirit Beast alliance. In Yhwach at the North City Gate, some people were left to clean the battlefield, while the rest marched towards the land of the earth. The 2nd team, let's go. The same goes for the West Gate. The 2 teams of Wooden Golem also tackled the enemy. The major teams outside the city gates marched in their respective directions, and all the villages in their respective directions had to win. 10 miles away from each city gate, it's a blood-red land. The huge spirit beasts fell in a pool of blood, and the ninjas lost their breath. From the beginning, it is an unequal battle. Even so, some spirit beasts and ninjas still survived. Because the Empire needs some elite prisoners to complete the infrastructure work of the Empire, those who have performed well for a long time can be exempted from the status of prisoners and become citizens of the Empire. Guy. A Kurozumi-like man fell to the ground, whispering something. Might Dai finally released 8 inner gates formation. But it did not play a decisive role, and the time was too short. Guy. Your son. Seeing Might Dai, whose breath gradually disappeared, Kakashi said indifferently. If you want revenge, let him come to me. Even if one day, someone named Might Guy, who had an excellent performance, 050, entered the army, and Kakashi didn't have much trouble. Like father and senior Shei, Sasori joins the Empire in order to gain strength for revenge. If Sasori has always been poor and has always been weak, then revenge is empty talk. But Sasori relied on his own efforts and eventually grew up and entered the Holy Legion. Then there is a chance. After applying to resurrect his parents, Sasori Tenten challenged Tsukumo, and Tenten was beaten. Might Guy, I'm on the top, waiting for you, hope not to disappoint me. Remembering that his father had such a seemingly enemy, but gradually became a comrade in arms who is also a teacher, a friend, an enemy, and who knows him best, Kakashi also hopes to have one. Bring it on. If you grow up, if you Tenten come to challenge me, it is also my motivation to become stronger. Might Guy, this is what you said, don't be too troublesome to run, burn your youth. What always feels wrong? Kakashi looked around and found that there was nothing wrong with him, he could only think that he was worrying too much. Is there a problem with that Might Guy? Kakashi, fearless. Hidan ran over and saluted. Report to the captain, I am applying to accept a few ninja brothers, please agree. Deidara also followed, saluting and shouting. Report to the captain, I am applying to accept a few spirit beast brothers, please agree. FK me all. Kakashi was quite speechless with kicking 2 thorns. I am a little saint soldier, a little kid, and still accept a little brother? Thinking too much. The 3rd Squadron obeys the order, cleans the battlefield, and takes over the entire territory of the Land of Fire within today. Yes, Captain. The 2nd battlefield. There was no rundown on the ground, it was all repaired by Kushina and others. As for the dead ninjas and spirit beasts, it was burned and cremated and buried in the ground. Makoto and others turned into many clones and marched towards the nations of the ninja realm. Lan Yu only gave 9 days. Take down the whole world of ninja, all countries and all villages, and the entire planet. Commonly known as, kill the enemy for 9 hours, go on the road for 9 all day. The 3rd battlefield. Uncle Madara finally left 3rd Raikage, whose momentum deserves to be appreciated by Madara. The remaining 4 shadows are dead. The big pillar was left with docile teeth, and 3 trembling snakes hung from the tail behind. The rest of the top spirit beasts are dead. Toadpill's so-called drag plan. It's purely a donation plan, the 4th battlefield. The last battlefield. Very weird at the moment, after the 10 troops and all members of the Holy Legion went to fight. The 3 big immortals wait and wait, but the Demon King didn't come at all, instead he waited for the news of the big defeat across the battlefields. 10 minutes ago, the 3 immortals couldn't sit still. One after another began to attack the true world city. But, various moves. After 10 minutes of frantic bombardment, the real world city remained motionless. Because there is a barrier firmly guarded, the citizens of the Empire in the city watched a firework. Go in? The 3 immortals are even more helpless? Fly in. Climb in. Get in. I can't get in anyway. Can only stare outside the city, what should I do now? Immortal Yu took back all the clones because he wanted to fight with all his strength. The body at this moment is like a blue and white city wall, hundreds of meters in size, it seems to be the largest spirit beast in the summoning world. The body is constantly cleansing the strong chakra, the breath is far beyond ordinary people's imagination. Toad Maru subconsciously wanted to say how I knew, but immediately put on an unpredictable appearance, and said in a low voice. Obviously, the Devil King intends to consume our strength and patience, disturb us, and attack. I don't know where Toad Maru found a red cloak, holding a huge hammer. It's kind of funny like someone shouting barking with a hammer. Toad Pill. I am Thor Pill, for the glory of Mount Myoboku, quack. Fairy White Snake asked. What should we do? Toad Pill eyelids twitched. Take down. Believe it or not, I'll hammer you. Advertisement. Wait. Toad Pill hardened his scalp and opened his mouth. The 2 immortals of the White Snake are speechless, so wait. The 3 immortals are far more depressed than before. They worked together and didn't even break a barrier. Obviously, their stingy was greatly reduced. But it has reached this point, out on a limb, buzz. At this time, the space in front formed a mosaic like black, and a tall and beautiful woman walked out. The woman has light blue and white long hair waving in the wind, wearing a white dress, a red flower tied in her hair, and her ruby-like eyes are shining. As soon as he came out, he stretched out to meet the sun and said cheerfully, "Well, another day full of vitality." Ignoring the three beasts, Kaguya raised his fingers slightly. Wood-style luxury wooden chair technique, under the stunned Sanshion. A wooden chair appeared out of thin air, each pattern on it was extremely delicate, and the whole looked extremely gorgeous. The technique of that small pillar is pretty good. Miss Kaguya sat lazily on the chair, and a book appeared between her hands, muttering something. By the way, which page did the concubine see? Sanshion. Hello, human. Do you look down on the beast a bit like this? Damn it, it was installed by you, this woman. Immortal White Snake was about to get angry, but was stopped by Toadpill. Immortal White Snake was very puzzled. Fairy Katsuyu also looked over. How can it be? I saw the Toadpill at the moment. The two toad legs began to tremble, dense beads of sweat covered the forehead, and the eyes were shocked and shocked. It seems to have seen the scariest thing in the world. Zero. The White Snake Immortal was stunned. Hey, what's wrong with you? Tell me I can't hold back at the critical moment. There is no pit here. But Toad Maru ignored him. All the hammers in his hand fell to the ground. Immortal Yu's tentacles moved. Could it be the reason for that woman? What? The White Snake Fairy perceives the past. Hiss, my mother. Fairy White Snake's eyes were all bright and blind. What did he see? All right. He didn't see anything. Because of the perception of Kaguya, that terrifying fairy art chakra, like a sun, is too dazzling. Can't see anything, but he felt its indescribable vastness. The White Snake Fairy's heart thumped wildly, almost scared to death. Greatly, Toadpill's voice was dry, and it took a long time to say a complete word. White Snake. Sister? Robbery? You, my lord? Big girl? Uh-huh. Miss Kaguya looked up, her bright red eyes staring fiercely. Who is the eldest sister? The little snake really owes it. Not good. Immortal White Snake suddenly felt a strong sense of crisis, and began to retreat without thinking about it. You can't escape the concubine's moves. But Kaguya just sat there quietly, his eyes raised slightly, and a majestic repulsive force came out. The moment that appeared. Do whatever you want. A huge and invisible repulsive fist was formed, which instantly crossed the layers of space and bashed the White Snake boldly. Boom. Fist of horrible repulsion. The White Snake's abdomen was directly blasted through, the blood splashed down, and the whole body of the snake rose up and flew out in no time. Hiss. The fairy could not help being shocked. Let's not say whether the moves are strong or not, but this woman. You raise your hand anyway. The concubine's body shot slightly, and it has reached the limit of the immortal. Kaguya's expression was indifferent, and his tone was fluttering. Katsuyu's two tentacles were tangled together, very touching. Damn it, it was loaded again. Yes, very strong. Lan Yu sat on the throne of the main hall. His eyes showed relief like a teacher who saw the student become the champion. Kaguya. 5.7 You can precipitate thousands of years of cultivation base and turn it into a certain chi. Very comforted for the teacher, can be a teacher. Otsutsuki Kaguya. Toad Maru finally said a name that made him unbelievable and frightened. After that, Toad Maru shook his toad head again, and tried his best to refute himself. No, it's not her. That woman is as cold as an iceberg, and there is. Is the concubine's clone cold? Kaguya's words suddenly sounded in his ears. The toad pill was so excited that he saw Kaguya still sitting there, looking at herself lazily. What? She said Avatar. A conjecture that made the toad pill shudder appeared in my mind, and the heart would burst. How can it be? The goddess of Mao from thousands of years ago is this woman's clone. What a cosmic joke. This kind of conjecture directly overturned all the worldviews of toad pills. Auntie. Let's shoot together. Squeezing all fears down, the toad pill burst out like a tsunami like fairy technique chakra, turning the fear into combat power. Hammer. The sledgehammer came to Toad Pill's hand. Into the powerful Shanshu thunder. The surrounding void was full of thunder and lightning, thunder snakes gushing out of the sky, and thunder roaring. Sage Art Budu Royal Thor. Chapter 167. The strongest nanny in the ninja world. 666. 3 Immortals siege Kaguya. Advertisement ZZZ. The toad pill held a giant hammer, and the thunderous thunder exploded directly in the sky. The thunder and lightning that caused atmospheric neighing oscillated more than tens of miles. It caused pain in the eardrums of countless people. While preparing to go to the mainland, Madara, the pillar of the distant sea suppressing an unknown country, couldn't help but startled. This is a chakra wave that is more tyrannical than I used to be. Hashirama was surprised. It was really not him. His magical chakra broke out completely, and no one can stop under 6 paths. But this volatility is close to 6 paths. Pity. Uchiha Madara was excited for a moment and then calmed down. If it weren't for your majesty's arrangements, he definitely rushed over and pulled the opponent to dance with pleasure. You are proud to be able to evolve lightning-style sage art to this point. Kaguya sat on the chair, spoke without raising his head, read the book, and took a sip of coffee by the way. Sage Art Budu Royal Thunder God Thunder Prison. Chakra, the magical magic of the toad pill, smashed the sky, holding a sledgehammer, and fell abruptly. In an instant, pop it, the Shanshu Thunder Sea in the sky turned into a thunder toad that also held a sledgehammer. The hugeness was more than 100 meters long, and it exploded. Sage art tongue and teeth mucus acid. At the same moment, all the avatars were recovered to show the immortal hundreds of meters large, and directly spit out a tsunami like acid. Very corrosive, dissolves everything, it's amazing. This technique is not a physical attack, nor is it a mental attack. Because it dissolves completely as long as it touches, 07 is extremely unreasonable. Life-saving means are as numerous as the original trajectory Orochimaru, who personally admit that if you touch it, you will die. Terumi Mei. My holy text. This book is good, you can show it to the teacher, the best is for the teacher. Kagaya muttered while sitting on the wooden chair, as if she was fascinated, and she was still taking notes with a pen. Reading without taking notes is called free reading. I looked down on the beast too much. Seeing this scene, the toad pill and the immortal suddenly became angry. We are fairies. They are almost the existence of 6 paths, 3 in 1 can fight all enemies in the ninja world. What? In the next moment, the expressions of the two beasts changed drastically. Above Kagaya, a dark space covering more than a kilometer suddenly appeared, like a giant star beast with its fangs, waiting for the arrival of its prey. Buzzing. The terrifying thundercell and acid liquid were swallowed by space like water dripping into the sea. If it's just that, not enough to shock the two immortals. Buzzing. The next moment, they found that a grand dark space was also unfolding above their heads. Above the fairy Katsuyu, the vast thunder prison came, and thousands of thunder roared. Above the great toad sage, the corrosive acid is dumped and dissolved in the atmosphere. Hurry up! Toad Pill screamed in surprise and was about to hide when he found a scene of horror. Front, back, left and right, up and down side, at all, a mosaic-like pitch-black space appeared, and thunder or acid was blasted out. Lock up the two beasts. How can it be? The Toad Pill was dull for a moment. The precise manipulation of this spatial ability simply surpassed his imagination. Swallow, transfer, and then split the attack of devouring equally. All-round transfer and counterattack. It was like a slash in the past, but was instantly swallowed and split into several slashes, which instantly counterattacked from all directions. Sage Art Jianyu Thunder God Armor. The black thunder full of destructive energy instantly covered the Toad Pill, condensing layer after layer of armor. There are dark spaces everywhere. There is nowhere to hide, only hard resistance. Boom boom boom. Build the armor of the Thunder God to contend with the transferred acid liquid. Anti is split. Immortal Yu is much simpler. The huge body dispersed thousands of pieces in a flash, like a dense blue and white torrent that collapsed into the cracks in all directions. ZZZ. But even so, many clones were destroyed by the dense fairy magic thunder magic. But this is no problem for you. When using this schizophrenia, all physical attacks become ineffective. No matter how powerful an attack is, it will turn into a useless attack. Even if there is, relying on the magic therapy can recover to the limit. Shoo. After fighting hard against the lost Shanshu acid, the Toad Pill couldn't help but scream. Like the strongest spear, attack the strongest shield. Although it was destroyed, the shield was also damaged. After corroding the black thunder, some acid liquid fell on the Toad Pill, corroding its body into pits. Frog U technique remote healing. At this time, countless avatars once again condensed into the body of the station worm, directly and remotely treating the Toad Pill and the white snake that was blown away before. ZZ. A cloud of mist appeared on the Toad Pill, which was the breath of life. In the blink of an eye, the Toad Pill recovered from his injury. Immortal Yu. The strongest nanny in the ninja world. The woman of damn it, soon, the white snake fairy returned, and the blood hole in his body was also healed. But the character of the white snake immortal is extremely obedient, and the injury just now directly angered him. Advertisement, White Snake, don't be careless, Toadmaru said in a deep voice, and solemnly looked forward to the beautiful woman who was reading quietly. Look, she sat there. It is like an insurmountable mountain, and the sense of oppression is terrifying. The white snake fairy flashed red light in his eyes. Where did this woman come out? How could she be so strong? In short, she may be stronger than Otsutsuki Hagoromo at her peak. Toad Pill didn't say much, but these words also shocked the two immortals. Although the two of them did not have any intersection with Yuya. Even in the era of the goddess of Mao, the forest was closed and the cave was closed directly to avoid harm. But still know what Sage of Six Paths is, how to say. It's like Naruto, who just graduated. He is a genin, but he has more chakra than Kakashi. But Naruto's strength is not as good as Kakashi. Experience, skills, and cognition are all gaps. The same is true for the three immortals. Chakra has accumulated thousands of years and is definitely not weaker than Six Paths. But the strength is not entirely determined by the amount of chakra. There are various qualitative gaps. You mean, there is more than one Six Paths in the Invisible Empire? The White Snake Fairy wanted to vomit blood in depression. If there is only one, the three immortals may work together to fight. One more, absolutely kneel. Immortal Yu said in a deep voice. In this case, only fight is consumed. Desperate with my life, as long as I don't die, I can save it. The nanny's words are true hockey. In an instant, it gave the Toad Pill and the White Snake great motivation. Are you so good? Kagaya was also attracted by the words of Immortal Yu. raised his head and looked at it carefully, sharply commenting. Well, what a big slug. The huge blue and white body of the fairy Katsuyu became a bit black in an instant, and was angry. Slug. Alright, you win. Slug's scientific name. Stand. Stop talking nonsense, take it. I was injured in an instant before, and the anger of the white snake fairy needs to vent. We need to be in close contact, Immortal Yu said, washing away the fairy technique chakra fell on the two beasts. Visual sharing, open, like Pen's 6 paths, it can share the same vision, and it can transmit chakra remotely and transmit information. Greatly strengthen the tripartite cooperation, nice technique. Our Majesty Lan Yu praised it. Since it is praised, it needs to be copied, simulated, and transformed into a spiritual power system. When the subordinates have polished their own abilities enough, they can practice auxiliary techniques in their spare time, and they don't have enough skills. It must be leisure time, as long as it will do. You can't think about Grandmaster at all, it will only lead to mediocrity. The three immortals looked at each other, all kinds of information and intelligence exchanged silently. Shoot together. Toad Pill shouted loudly, waved the hammer, and his body was covered with fairy magic thunder again. Sage Art Jianyu Thor Liaguang, Black Thunder shines on the world, 057. Black thunders struck the void, and there were waves of spatial ripples, which were about to split at any time. I am not a snake anymore. When the Toad Pill broke out, the white snake immortal also broke out chakra, the purple belt trembling with gems on his head cracked directly, and two horns appeared. It's a bit like a dragon's horn, but it's almost meaningless. Sage Art by G technique. The white snake fairy opened and spit out a huge white-scaled dragon, holding a dragon ball-like sphere on the dragon's claws. Head towards Kaguya quickly. A white dragon flew out, and Kaguya looked up. Boom. Before the white dragon approached Kaguya, it quickly revolved around the dragon ball, leaving only one bead in an instant. The dragon ball burst suddenly. A strong white light burst out, illuminating the void, and there was also a harsh neighing. This kind of technique, Kaguya's body stagnated. She could feel the constant vibration of the surrounding air, trying to crush her own bones. Not only that. That kind of white light and mixed terrible sounds tried to damage one's vision and hearing. Body, sight, hearing, all-round restrictions, it's now. At this moment, Immortal Buyu shot. Its goal is to use a hammer to bloom the Black Thunder Toad Pill. Space conversion technique. Buzz. The space is rippling. The Toad Maru, the farthest from Kaguya, has its body immediately changed by the Katsuyu Immortal. The next moment, arriving in the sky over Kaguya, Wan Lei Chi made. Bai Ji technique is controlled by shore attack, assisted by space conversion, and builds the Thunder God's lore. The three immortals work together, it's really hard palpitating. At this moment, Kaguya's ruby-like pupils crossed the bright brilliance and slowly raised his hand. A good combo, worthy of concubine's praise, heavenly royal. 80 gods airstrike, make a big move, pay tribute. Chapter 168. The Block of Chaos, everything ends, the three Holy Land immortals, death. Advertisement, you must hit her. Just after the white snake used the Beiji technique to contain it, and after losing and transferring his support, he looked forward to seeing the Toad Pill holding the giant hammer giving Kaguya a thunderous blow. But the moment Kaguya raised his hand, the three immortals were shocked. Buzz. Heavenly Imperial Court instant, in an instant, the world change. The three immortals were forcibly transferred to another dimension, and no ninjutsu in the ninja world could resist. Puff and puff, suddenly, a terrifying force of gravity came under pressure. The white snake and the Katsuyu fairy were on the ground immediately. Kiss. The black thunder in the sky was affected by gravity, and it collapsed directly, and the mighty Toad Pill fell to the ground accidentally. This is where, puff, cough, so strong gravity. No, run away. The three immortals felt the great horror. Gravity space. With Kaguya's promotion, and thousands of years of evolution. It's no longer what it used to be. Especially the pair of reincarnated Rinnegan, the multiplicity of gravitational increase, caused the gravitational space of the gravitational space to multiply. At this moment, if the conventional super shadow comes in, no matter how you struggle, you will be crushed into a pie by gravity in an instant. This is. The three immortals burst in their hearts. Efforts to explode Shanshu Chakra tried to counter the terrible gravity. But they tried their best to look up, only to understand that Kaguya's raising of his hand was not a transfer, but a bold bombardment. 80 gods airstrike. Huge roar. Kaguya smashed the atmosphere in front of him with a light palm. Countless powerful fists materialized all over the void, and every fist was the ultimate physical technique, covering the three immortals seamlessly. Boom boom boom. The earth where the three immortals were directly shattered, and the holy wind and aerodynamics of the sky and the earth were mixed with blood. Diffusion toward the entire gravitational space. The angle is off by 0.01 degrees. Kaguya's ruby pupils didn't make any waves, so he gently lowered his hands and turned a page of the book in his hands. Still the wooden chair. Still that lazy posture. Still the beautiful woman who reads quietly. Kaguya, who has fully controlled gravitational force, is unaffected by this space. Terrible. If this scene is seen by the Ninja Coalition forces. Enough to disintegrate the mentality of any ninja spirit beast. Unexpectedly, besides the Devil King, there are such terrifying women in the Empire. When the roaring feast stopped, the Toad Pill blew weakly, like a gossamer. The body was in dilapidated condition, even torn apart. If it weren't for the fascinating magic that is as vigorous as a quagmire, chakra is connected to each place, and it has long since died. Fairy White Snake is also miserable. Most of the snake drives are broken into pieces. The celestial art that has accumulated for countless years, chakra has formed a lake in the ruins. Katsuyu Fairy. The same shattered into slag, but if you look closely, you can see that there are countless small Katsuyus in the ruins. Relying on Shanshu chakra to be connected together, working together to resist the terrible gravity that still exists. The tyrannical gravity came too fast, and at the moment of stagnation, he suffered a terrifying 80 divine airstrike. 3 immortals. There is no chance of reaction. Sage Art Xiao Yu sacrifice. At this moment, an extremely weak voice sounded slightly. Buzzing. A green light lit up from the ruins. Immediately after that, green lights shot up into the sky, and merged into a green sea in front of them. Within, full of breath of life, this vast vitality. If it broke out on the battlefield, it would be enough to bring more than 100,000 lives back to the peak from dying. Good vitality, but still useless work. Kaguya cannot help but appreciate this sage art, but in the face of her, any resistance is useless. In this space where gravity has multiplied geometrically, the 3 immortals have difficulty even moving. Just add to the fun. Chi-chi-chi-chi. The 3 celestial beings breathe white smoke of life everywhere where their remnants, corpses, were located. Surgery chakra, the body is constantly connected, and life is revived. Who are you? The recovered toad pill opened his mouth unwillingly. Before coming, they thought about countless possibilities, but never thought that before Lan Yu made a move, they knelt once. Didn't you know it? Kaguya's plain words made Toad Maru's heart trembled. If the goddess of Uzumaki 1,000 years ago is really a clone of this woman. They are here to give the head away. Kaguya said seriously. The concubine is just an insignificant soldier in the empire, and only the worst student taught by the teacher. A little strength is not worth mentioning, which makes you laugh. X. Is she serious? How strong is Lan Yu? Boom boom boom. The 3 great immortals no longer have any fluke mentality, and exploded out of each other's strongest techniques like squeezing their lives. Sage Art Jianyu Thor Dakatanhara. The great toad sage erupted, and the dark sage art thunder and lightning condensed a physical giant hammer, which slammed into the void. When torn, smash cracks in the void, then dense black thunder and lightning flooded in madly. For an instant, along the void cracks, most of the gravitational space is scattered. Buzz. The sweep of thunder and lightning has formed a new space wherever it passes. God's place. Gao Tianyuan. It's nice to use thunder as a medium to open up space along the way. Kaguya swept away the aggression of thunder with repulsive force, his eyes flashed brightly, and it seemed that he had an idea for a new technique. Swipe. Toad pill with terrifying strength, forcibly opened up a new space here, and the 3 immortals all rushed in. Gravity disappeared briefly. Restore body power. Zitsa. Advertisement. The scattered black thunders instantly gathered together, forming a huge black thunder hammer like a mountain above the space. When the toad pill condensed, the huge body of the white snake fairy suddenly shrank. Because it condenses almost 90% of the fairy technique chakra into the secret technique. In addition to the basic Bai-Ji technique and inorganic reincarnation, the white snake fairy also has unique powerful abilities. Mind waves. Usually used to record and play past scenes, that's just basic usage. Sage art nice and majestic, the white snake fairy broke out. The chakra, the magical magic that gathers 90%, condenses in the mind and turns into a shining beam of spiritual will. If hit by the beam, it is enough to cause any ninja to have an instant mental breakdown and the soul to return to the Pure Land. Sage Art Soul Sacrifice Technique. The outburst of the immortal standing loser made the toad pill and the white snake immortal look startled. Ho, what did you do? The toad pill and the white snake realized that their attack power instantly doubled and doubled again. The power almost couldn't be controlled. Is this the nanny? It is too strong. But the body of the Taiyu fairy shrank and was sluggish. My ultimate move can't play a decisive role, it's better to enhance your skills, please. The fairy's voice was weak. Most of its tricks are nurse-assisted, except for corrosive acid, whether it is for treatment or sharing of information and vision. But to increase the opponent's strength in this way, you can understand the name of this technique. The sacrifice to the soul technique is extremely costly. After the strong increase, even if you stop fighting, you will fall into a long silence. This, alas. Perceiving Katsuyu's extremely poor state, Toad Maru and White Snake couldn't help but despair. The strongest nanny knelt. If you can't get it this time, they have to kneel too. Shoot. The 3 celestial beings only communicated in an instant. After all, it relies on Katsuyu's visual sharing and information sharing and communication. After the exchange, he shot immediately, boom. The terrifying thunder hammer of destruction, and the wave of thoughts that broke the spirit, with the blessing of the immortal technique posted, the power has increased. In an instant, the surrounding void collapsed again and again, covered with pitch-black cracks. Finally aroused interest in my concubine. Kaguya was full of interest in the 2 great magic arts that had soared in power, and he couldn't help closing the book. Since it's serious, then it ends instantly. Expand truth-seeking ball. At the moment when the 2 attacks struck, a piece of ultimate black appeared in front of Kaguya. At an incredible speed, it rapidly expanded dozens of times, and continued to expand continuously. A huge block of chaos, Let the world return to nothingness. Everything ends. The destruction of the world with gravity. Come to mourn the funeral for your 3-day immortals. After Kagaya used it, he turned and disappeared into the gravitational space, and left here without looking back. Real woman. Never look back at the explosion. Boom, boom boom. The horrible expansion truth-seeking ball erupts. The moves of the two immortals were instantly destroyed, and they were all destroyed, presenting a scene of extinction. The world is shattered. Devour everything. Great Toad Sage and the White Snake Fairy also turned into nothingness in the frightened despair. Katsuyu Fairy. Extinct instantly. No force can offset it. 3 immortals, die, 4 battlefields, the end. The major ninja villages have fallen. The news has not yet spread, and the Empire has launched an expedition against the ninja realm. Teacher, my concubine is done. In the hall, Kaguya's eyelashes flickered, looking at Lan Yu expectantly, as if waiting for praise. Your new trick is good. Feeling the space still collapsing in the gap between time and space, Lan Yu's eyelids twitched slightly. What can he say? Kagaya actually used the inflated truth-seeking ball as a bomb. Run after throwing the bomb, gravity space is crying. The remaining few days of the Imperial Palace trembling in the space, they're very suspicious that one day they will be blown up. Kagaya said that there is a lot of space and you can do whatever you want. The kings, Lan Yu couldn't find anything wrong. Because this is really strong. Pull the person directly into the Heavenly Royal, throw a swelling truth-seeking ball and run away. Just ask, who can stand it? Because in the ninja world, even if sometimes space ninjutsu, no one can escape from the Heavenly Imperial in an instant. Really? Hearing Lan Yu's praise, Kaguya's eyes turned into crescents with a humble tone. No, the concubine's body is just a little bit more powerful, the teacher is too good. Billion points? Lan Yu wondered if he had praised Kagaya dozens of times just now. Obviously just saying a new trick is good, Kagaya automatically made up a lot of it. Since your warm-up is over, go and take down the whole world with Kushina and others. Lan Yu spoke like this. At any rate, it is the planet, which is very big, so we must have a little respect for it. The 9 days he stipulated. The pressure on everyone in the Empire is not small. Kagaya immediately shook his head. The concubine body is a personal guard, to protect the teacher and... Lan Yu didn't speak, silently drew a 40-meter knife. My concubine is here, goodbye teacher. Seeing this, countless memories poured into my mind, Kaguya's heart jumped, turned and ran. Run slowly. The concubine's body will be pressed on the ground with a rubbing bow. It's over, Shinobi. Lan Yu perceives the entire battlefield. Continue to close your eyes and feel time and space. The ninja world is unified. Enter the countdown, chapter 169. The Empire unified the world of ninja, bid farewell to the past, and look forward to the new future. Advertisement first day. The Empire swept the coalition ninja spirit beasts. Divide the troops and take down the 5 ninja villages. March into the 5 countries in all directions, the next day. Shinobi is shocked. The Empire triumphed and the coalition forces were wiped out. This news is like falling countless meteorites in the ninja world, bursting into the hearts of many ambitious people. The whole world of ninja is in shock, at the same time. Pillar Madara crosses the sea, across the water country, and arrives in many unknown countries far away from the land. For example, the Greer Vein event more than 10 years after the original trajectory. In ancient times, people used the Greer Stone to build a huge super civilization. And come to fight for it, it is the Night Order headed by Hyde. They come from far overseas. 3rd day. The members of the Sacred Legion all divided their bodies and started a carpet sweep. Orochimaru encounters the Air Nation forces, what a surprise. Looking at the huge sky fortress, various aircraft carriers and many modern weapons, Orochimaru smiled. The empty country, a country of scientific miracles. During World War II, he took away scientists and technology and strengthened the Academy's heritage. Did not expect. More than 10 years have passed, and the ashes have revived. Technology has also ushered in a big explosion, boom. A huge beam of energy fell on the ground, directly blasting out an abyss. Da Snake G was also surprised. Energy cannon? Their scientific and technological capabilities are so strong. The more so, the happier I am. Orochimaru nudged his gold glasses and smiled elegantly. This is sending technology to the Empire. Although the technology of the Empire is certainly not inferior to that of the Sky Country, the technology can complement each other. Damn it, it's you again. The leader of Yuyin Village, Shenong, saw Orochimaru and exploded in anger. It's this guy. Robbed everything. Fortunately, Shenong discovered the Zero Tail and used it as an energy source, and the technology of the empty country ushered in an explosion again. This time the Anti-Devil Alliance, Sora no Kuni also participated. But because of the problem of collecting 060 Dark Chakra, it was 2 days late. Just these 2 days. Let Kora no Kuni be in an awkward situation. Not to retreat. It's not like entering, but after seeing Orochimaru, Shenong forgot everything, full of anger. Revenge. He wants revenge, sister, enjoy them with me. Okay, brother Maruko. 4th day. The Empire completely occupied the territories of the 5 major powers and radiated rapidly in all directions. Except for some unwilling careerists. Where the Imperial forces passed. All surrender. Otherwise it is death. On the holographic projection map displayed by Lan Yu, the red pentagram pattern belonging to the empire covers more and more areas. 5th to 7th day, the empire started killing again. The cleanup this time is mainly aimed at those big-name families and nobles who are eating together and waiting to die. Most of them. They are all people who oppress the people, and keeping it is a waste of food. There are also many evil parties, bandits, pirates, gangs and so on. All are in the scope of cleaning up. 99 evil out of 100 people. Clean up the ninja crap, although it is extremely difficult to clean up all at once. But the empire has time. If anyone could hide or escape, it would be nothing more than the empire added some merits to the sage soldiers. 8th, 9th day. The finishing touch. The whole ninja world was quiet. Everyone outside the empire felt like they had a dream. The ninja world is unified. This is thousands of years, no. It should be something that civilization has never had before, right? In ancient times, end the war and respect the goddess of Mao. But even the goddess of Mao is only one person who oppresses the world and does not unify all countries. Unify, the two words, never existed, only in dreams. Therefore, countless people in the ninja world were amazed, shocked, and sighed, leading to endless admiration. After the reunification, will there be no more wars? I'm afraid this is a dream. I heard that the civilians, the lord of the empire, attach great importance to them. No one can bully the civilians. Finally, it is not torn apart. I have lived for 40 years and moved 60 times. The devil Lan Yu. No, this feat alone is not great enough to describe. It's all too optimistic. If there is civil unrest, it will be even more terrifying. Are you stupid? We are already very happy. The lord of the empire will not be chaotic in his prime of life. Leave the future to the new generation. Civil strife? In prime of life? Give it to the new generation? Listening to the various emotions of the civilians everywhere, they all strayed in the end, causing the sacred soldiers of the empire to jump their eyes. The 3rd Brigade. Kimimaro trot over and saluted. Captain, I have discovered a few issues that the civilians are most concerned about. After repeating some conversations, Kakashi was lost in thought. His Majesty once said that if the country is to be stable, we must first stabilize the hearts of the people. Enough to see. Your Majesty attaches great importance to civilians. But now, civilians everywhere have longing for the empire and worry about the future, fearing that future generations will fall into war again. Although worry is unnecessary, but it still needs to be resolved. Then, extol your Majesty's greatness. Kakashi made a decision. Some exposure, your Majesty and the people do not care a thing, that is simply empire spiritual power systems. Advertisement life issues. His Majesty a person enough to tolerate coercion circles countless years. If exposure will be the fastest speed, secure the people to deter various hidden careerists. After generations of civilians who revered the great sire. Generation after generation of careerists, they can only hide deep groovely sessy hair, shake. On the 9th day afternoon, each country, every village, every forces, have at least one spare sacred corps members with stable. Currently understaffed, slowly. Sane soldiers troops and opt for return. Sacred Legion, also return. 4 True World City Gates, was full of people far empire, one looking forward to the excitement of watching the troops return. As excited as the fans have. Adult classes, Hashirama adults, look here. Kushina, Mikoto adults, they, 2 beautiful bar. Hitaki Kakashi adults, which is sent to you. Wow, there is such a small holy soldiers, so cute. Now, it does not require silence. Column Madara et al., AHFH, Kakashi, who have welcomed people who cheered. Many people rushed holding a variety of gifts such as flowers, sent in the past. As Hidan, Deidara, Kimimaro youngest, and several more are being a lot of containment ant, as caught whistle. Captain, save me, Listening to the cry for help of a couple of kids, Kakashi could not help but laugh. Empire for your efforts, worthy of receiving love people. Mother, come on very nice, cannot help but have a smile, Uchiha Madara finally spit out the words. The kind of warm feeling inside, worthy of his guardian life. Come, have to be careful not to squeeze people, take a photo. Kushina avatar holding the camera, there are people who greeted the crowd. The crowd cheering smile, the avatar in the sky overhead. This is the empire. The best moment, proud of it, Lan Yu. Lan Yu himself whisper loudly, personally build a prosperous empire. At this stage it has been met, evening, conference hall. A sacred corps members and 10 captain, emotional pit burning came to the hall. This is the unified border and Albert unified whole planet. It is worth bearing in mind their lifetime, also the beginning of a glorious empire. Work hard, have great service per person. When one looks at the elite, Lan Yu also feel that time really flies. Majesty share those concerns, I cannot take credit. The crowd shouted opening. They're just guidelines in accordance with the direction of His Majesty forward, all the way through. Each of you deeds will be recorded in imperial history, hope you always keep in mind the original mind. Future long way to go, Lan Yu do not want these people, what appears Hunzi future. Yes, your Majesty. Everyone looks solemn. These days, they deal with a lot of slag slaughter, many of which are a country Mogon. People learn a lesson, active, natural rewarded. Many people looked at the eyes light up, Lan Yu smiled. If the seating, it was stone. Lan Yu continued. Remove the opportunity to apply for voluntary per person +1, principal reward meritorious person. Between surprise everyone and some confusion, volunteer opportunity to apply all no. Fill volunteer, volunteer to submit, your majesty to complete volunteer for the crowd. Of course, the premise is not too exaggerated. If you have to fill in anything, I want to endure invincible, I will destroy the community, I want to kill half the universe class life. Called out things. The remaining volunteer, as long as not too exaggerated, Lan Yu's ability to be able to complete. All-in-one capabilities men, still continue to go beyond evolution, Lan Yu's comprehensive ability, far more than imagined. Conan doubts. Your majesty, principal feats that? Ready in January, the official founding, Lan Yu, then make everyone surprised. Just listen to Lan Yu continued. You have to prepare, the empire will be completely on track. So, the current system would be inappropriate, especially in terms of troops. Sacred Legion and Saint reorganization of war team, opened the rank hierarchy, layers of division, principal feats as a necessary factor. Everyone was stunned. It is true. Empire elite will only increase, if all the same level, the future will be more and more chaotic. Rank it. Uchiha Madara shimmering eyes. Your majesty, whether rank and power related. Nature. Lan Yu's forehead. After all, we cannot let Uchiha Madara go to the White Zetsu when younger brother, right? The kind of picture, just the White Zetsu estimate can laugh died on the spot. Senju Hashirama also spoke up. Your majesty, in that case, are we going to be a contest of resorting to violence? All eyes light up one after another. Although there are usually a lot of practice, but did not and everyone practiced. Those who endure sector, it is difficult to make everyone with the best. It is time to verify the results of 10 years of practice. Good proposal. Lan Yu think this suggestion is not bad. Kushina suggested. Your majesty, since it is the official founding, everything that upgrading the country to change it. The country. Get rid of the invisible word. Lan Yu slightly thoughts. Since all coercion, how can the invisible empire change it? Break with the past, look into the future. Resale. Chapter 170. The opening of the era of great construction, Hashirama planted trees, Madara came to open the mountain. Advertisement. Your majesty, I am suffering. Through hard work for more than 10 years, once back to before the initial establishment. Wow, the empire is short of money again. In the main hall, Kakuzu was crying like a heart-piercing one, desperate for life. Although it is just beginning construction, however, the construction hasn't started and money goes first. In just 2 days, he pulled out large sums of money expenses. Me, Kakuzu, heartache. If there are other countries, Kakuzu can still go to the autumn wind, but now there is only one empire, it is too difficult for him. Lan Yu handed over dozens of nailing rings to Kakuzu. Inside are all kinds of resources I collected when I broke the parallel world, enough to use. Dozens of nailing rings? Kakuzu's eyes lit up instantly. Your majesty, I'm leaving now. Suddenly got up, full of energy, Kakuzu picked up Na Lingjia's luggage and left in a hurry. At this time, Lan Yu looked at the restrained young man on the road in the hall. Those civilians and surrendered ninjas must settle down as quickly as possible. The think tank will also follow the intelligence department to travel all over the empire, investigate all hidden dangers, sort out all human geography, and redesign an effective policy that conforms to the development of the empire. Yes, your majesty. Naraluji nodded his head heavily. It's another big project, but if it can satisfy your majesty, then the Nara clan can be considered a firm foothold. Lan Yu asked again. What do you think of the surviving elites in the original Shinobi village? This problem. Naraluju pondered. It is undeniable that they all have hatred in their hearts. If your majesty wants to do it once and for all, I suggest, kill them all. Conan, who was recording the meeting not far away, stopped moving and gave Lu Ju a surprised look. Lan Yu didn't speak, waiting for him to continue. But the empire has his majesty and all the adults, any anti-imperial behavior is ridiculous. At present, the large-scale construction of the empire requires talents from all sectors to supplement. If they are forced to reform through labor in exchange for freedom, from a long-term perspective, the advantages outweigh the disadvantages. In the long run, any unwillingness will be reduced to ashes in the long years, and the new generation will be the people of the empire, fighting for the rise of the empire. Naraluju said in one breath. When he was about to say something more, he saw Lan Yu raising his hand slightly and stopped immediately. I'll leave it to you, go. Yes, your majesty. Nara Shikajiu left respectfully. At this time, Conan asked curiously, Your majesty, can you directly hand over the ministers to him for management? Let's not talk about the ability. Conan felt that the other party was too young. We must know that many civil servants accumulated in the past 10 years are at least 30 years old. No problem, he is a smart man. Lan Yu didn't care about this. If you can try it, you will know that there is currently no leader in civil servants. Go ahead if appropriate, substitution is inappropriate. Post all the previously discussed decisions. Yes, your majesty. After the ninja world returned to the empire, the era of great construction began across the empire, and the entire ninja world was bustling with enthusiasm. The main thing. The economic level and technological level of the original countries and villages are too far behind the empire. Not to mention other technology categories. Minsheng technology, empire's mobile phones, computers, refrigerators, air conditioners, light rails, etc., are currently not available in other countries. After all, the original locus, this era is the era when Zuo Ming was born. Distance from bloggers. There are still more than 30 years. But even in that era, that kind of heavy computer was still an antique to the empire. This can be seen. The swift and violent imperial technology. But, everything has to be done slowly. To be rich, build roads first. First, we must run through the roads throughout the empire, and traffic will start first. Ninja is divided into 8 states. Hōgyoku, Yanzhou, Wuzhou, Shazhou, Leizhou, Yuezhou, Shuizhou, Yunzhou. Dividing the districts by state, 5 to 10 districts in each state. Economic reform of the entire empire, unified use of empire yuan coins. True world city is called the imperial capital. The ancient country of Lulan is set as a special zone. Establish Mist Shinobi, Sand Shinobi, Rock Shinobi, Cloud Shinobi, and Konoha as the imperial 5A level tourist attractions. With immediate effect, the census will be launched, information will be collected, and identification documents will be distributed. From now on, all kinds of classics and special items will be collected for a fee throughout the empire. From now on, the entire empire will recruit talents from various industries to build a beautiful and harmonious home for the whole country. Reform one by one. Through official documents issued by the empire, spread throughout the empire. Soon, all civilians in the ninja world discovered that they were different after being unified. First, all the chaos came to an abrupt end. There is no oppression of all races, no coercion of bandits, evil parties, ninjas, etc. Secondly, in many poor mountains, bad waters and wasteland, there are various ninjas who dig mountains and fill the sea to pave roads and plant trees. The above are all changes that have just occurred at present. The longer the time, the greater the changes. Finally, even the sky is brighter. These are all kinds of clouds created by Lan Yu's fantasy, sorting out the weather across the empire, with the intention of making the weather smooth. Any experiments, factories, bases, etc. that carry pollution must be carried out in different spaces. The environment of the empire is very important. Anyone who harms the people without cause will be dealt with seriously once it is found out. During the period of great construction, don't disturb the people. As well as, Lan Yu first handed down the issues that must be implemented and left the rest to the ministers to complete. After all, every world and every era needs its own characteristics. Copy completely. It's called a donkey head that's wrong with a horse's mouth. I have to say that smart people mix well everywhere. The Nara clan is the representative. It was directly reused by Lan Yu, who attached great importance to Wenshin. Different from ordinary kingdoms. Because Lan Yu has the strength, there is no need to suspect anything. The Nara clan is like a fish in the empire. Someone is good. Naturally, someone squatted on the ground to draw circles. I'm so pitiful. The imperial sandbar, the land of the original land of the wind, Senju Hashirama wants to cry without tears. Oh my god. Such a big state. Advertisement Your Majesty asked me to plant trees all by myself? I even mixed up for greening. It turns out that my wood style is used in this way. Senju Hashirama burst into tears and started planting trees from the east. Greening is a big project. Because not only Shazhou, but also Yanzhou and other places are waiting for Hashirama to arrive. Fortunately, Hashirama also has a recruiter to help. But seeing a few small pieces of wood escaping from the ground, Hashirama was dumbfounded. Boy, why is your wood style so weak? Isn't it enough to build a house? 10-year-old Yamato wanted to cry without tears, so much worse than you. I am also desperate. Although the spiritual baptism will not wash away the blood inheritance boundary, it will not go to sublimation. Yamato and Hashirama's wood style, there is a fundamental difference. Especially Yamato is only 10 years old, it's too exaggerated. Watching Hashirama raise his hand to create a magnificent forest, Yamato was stunned on the spot. Hashirama's casual hand, he feels that he can't get it out of 10 years of hard work. You are responsible for calling for cheer. In the end, Hashirama spoke like this. The other side, open mountains and build roads, completely, Susanoo. A huge blue Suzuo appeared, and Uchiha Madara swiped it down. A mountain range was directly opened up all the way. Wow, Master Ben is mighty. Oh, Master Ben is great. Yeah, Master Ben, come on. Uncle Ben got goosebumps all over his body when he heard such words. My class has fallen to such a point. Is it a distortion of human nature or loss of morality? Uchiha Madara cried silently. Fortunately, his task is to open the mountain in the early stage, and the rest is left to the ninjas. So many fire styles and earth styles are left unused, which is a waste in Lan Yu's view. They are all infrastructure talents, greatly improve efficiency. More than 10 days passed in a hurry. There have been many changes every day in the empire. The direction is to be better. The ninjas became more and more silent. Who said Lan Yu? No, Your Majesty kills a demon king who doesn't blink. Devil, Storm Kun and so on. Now it seems that they are all the titles of ignorant careerists. At the moment when it brings stability and happiness to the civilians of the ninja world, no matter how many people Lan Yu has killed, it is a great feat. The only way to great reform. After all, civilians are the tone and foundation of the empire. The common people don't care who is the king, and the firewood, rice, oil and salt are not set up properly, so how can they bother to take care of them? But they remember who was kind to them. The empire treats them well. They have an empire in their hearts. Willing to contribute to the empire, willing to dedicate faith and admiration to His Majesty. 0. And at the moment, let's start. After more than a dozen days to truly establish a nation, the elites within the empire will start a martial arts contest. Determine the ranks of the imperial elites on the basis of strength, ability as the evaluation, and merit as the framework. The new country name has not yet been determined. Each new system must be finalized first. Conan, who did not compete, recites the rules. The top 3 are candidates for the Imperial Army, Air Force, and Marine Marshal. 4 to 12 candidates are admiral candidates for the respective armed forces. 13 to 48 are candidates for the Vice Admiral of the Army. 49 to 300 are candidates for the Rear Admiral of the Empire. 302, following Conan's rules came out. All the contestants' eyes flickered. Participants this time include, but are not limited to, members of the Holy Legion and the Holy Army. And the ninjas. Lan Yu gave a chance. The venue with a diameter of 10 miles was full of people, and the venue was covered with enchantments to avoid energy leakage. This result will become one of the bases for determining the military rank after the founding of the country more than 10 days later. Therefore, they are all candidates. Teacher, can I participate in my concubine? Kagaya, who was watching the play not far from Lan Yu, suddenly became interested. This sentence, suddenly everyone's hearts jumped. Madara and Hashirama also raised their eyebrows slightly. This woman looks cute, but it's definitely not easy to mess with. Lan Yu looked over. What are you going to do? Your Majesty, I want to be a marshal too. Kagaya spoke very seriously, which made many people stare. Kakashi was speechless. Grand Marshal? Tsunade makes a fist. Do you have an opinion? Ahem, no, Kakashi immediately became righteous. He was just a little surprised, and said so smoothly. Lan Yu is also looking sideways. This seriousness is really rare, and the concubine body has passed by. If Kagaya becomes the marshal of a certain unit, what is it like? All at the concubine, kill these pirates. What? The concubine soldiers are too inefficient, so they all retreat, like the original. Kagaya, who wears military boots, and Lan Yu thinks that something is wrong. Will the military style be biased? Go ahead. Lan Yu still agreed. Is there any reason to prevent Kagaya from becoming a marshal? Must not be. Marshal Kagaya, it's online. Chapter 171. Gathering in the imperial capital, starting today, officially enter the first year of the empire. Advertisement now. The fighting contest is in progress. This time, everyone showed their strongest strength. Ms. Kagaya stunned everyone. Quiet like an orchid, moving like a rabbit. Kagaya. The concubine body is not a rabbit. Sweep all enemies forcefully and explode all the accumulation of thousands of years. Good. The words Lan Yu suddenly turned Hoki's Kagaya into a happy little cutie. The laughter has never been heard. Kagaya fully demonstrated the 7-star tyranny of the chakra system. 7 stars and 6 paths, it's a different field again. Secondly, #LevisIXI, this battle is a collision of spiritual power, a collision of combat experience, a collision of bloodline, and a collision of holy characters. The second hour of fighting, Lan Yu opened the space-time barrier. Speed up the flow of time on the battlefield. Otherwise, the two know the bottom line, and they won't necessarily be able to win or lose after a few months of playing. Playing for a few months is not empty talk. 6 paths Kagaya unlimited chakra, and the 6 paths brothers fought for several months, if it were not sealed, God knows how long. Same. Lan Yu used the characteristics of 10 tails chakra to fill in some flaws in the spiritual power system. Now, 6 paths level spiritual power is almost unlimited. Without exhaustion of spiritual power and physical energy, the two can continue to fight. But, the root of the 063 spiritual power system is Ryatsu. So spiritual power can't play a decisive role in the final analysis, it depends on strength. Within the time and space barrier, after a few months have passed, Mada, Yuan, Hashirama's right leg disappeared, and he fell to the ground with serious injuries, his eyes full of smiles. The class also suffered various injuries, but was so angry. Do I need you to let it? Stand up for me. This Hashirama B******************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************** and death, denying it. Hashirama said seriously. In my heart, no one is better than you. I, Hashirama, would like to be called the strongest. Go to hell. I used the words of my class to show again, and the class was punching and kicking. Hashirama is very straightforward, Byakugan flips. Ended this battle. The battle between the two was breathtaking. Although the time and space barrier accelerated, but to the outside world, the more accelerating, the more gorgeous and powerful it is. Many people have a feeling that they cannot reach this state in this life. The rest of the battle is also going on in the time and space barrier, speeding up and speeding up. Quickly, the top 10 outsiders hurried past, the rest passed by. Top 3. Kagaya, Madara, Hashirama, not surprisingly. The position of Marshal of the Three Arms will fall on the three of them. The rest are waiting. No dark horses were found. What shocked the ninjas who participated in the war was that this open and transparent competition was watched by hundreds of thousands of people. Top 30. It turned out that all came from the Holy Legion and the Holy Army. Starting from the 31, the name of the first ninja appeared, 3rd generation I. Then it wasn't until 42 that the second ninja name appeared, 4th generation I. 44. Yagura, 46. Luo Sha, 48. Hyuga Haishi. 51. Killer Bee, 56, Ghost Lantern Full Moon. The ninjas couldn't believe it. Even the original third Raikage can only be ranked 31st? That is also the foremost existence in the Five Shadows. The worldview collapsed. The reason for the defeat of the coalition forces is obvious, that is, the Empire is too strong. Third generation Eye Man smiled wryly. The captains of the Saint Soldiers have too strong endurance, and it is difficult for him to hit people. Namikaze Minato was surprised. Kakashi, that AB group belongs to the South City Gate Alliance, right? Did you keep it? Kakashi shrugged. It should be said that it is a good fate. When finishing the battlefield, they still had a sigh of relief, sent away with the ninja captives, and also survived. For this result, the ninjas were shocked again and again. But the Imperial elites were very dissatisfied, cultivate and train for more than 10 years. Except for the captains, there's no dark horse for the rest. Can't beat those of third generation Eye. The total energy consumption will kill them. Are your spiritual power, physical strength, and skills a display? The combat experience is a bit poor. In the final analysis, everyone put the reason on the combat experience. Count it up. The sacred troops have also experienced 2 wars in the parallel world and the main world. The rest is daily training, but now the Empire has no enemies. Either go to conquer the Otsutsuki clan, but the Otsutsuki is too strong to be a holy soldier. Either. Noting the eyes of many elites, Lan Yu said, in the future, there will be opportunities to fight. That's the result this time. Everyone is ready to formally establish a nation in 5 days. Advertisement. Lan Yu left here after speaking. Kaguya followed Lan Yu away with an expression of joy, her ruby eyes sparkling, as if she was expecting to become a marshal. Everyone immediately talked about it. Congratulations, senior class, senior Hashirama, I wish you 2 marshals in advance. Many people congratulated each other, although it is still a candidate. But other people really can't compare with the top 3, the 3 marshals of sea, land and air are basically set. There is also a Kaguya marshal. It is said that your majesty's guard looks powerful, but in fact it is cute, and I don't know what it is like to be a marshal. Ben said casually. Come on together. I hope it's not Marshal Marine, do you want to go fishing? Ha 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 ha. Hashirama laughed. Although there are pirates in the ocean of ninja world. But those are little thieves, if you form Marine, it is probably the most leisurely. Hitaki Tsukumo groaned. I don't quite understand that the ninja world is unified, and the only foreign enemy is Otsutsuki, but why does your majesty expand the army? Especially Marine, it seems unnecessary. Everyone's thoughts. Jiraiya guessed. The universe is so big, each planet has a different climate, maybe which planet is full of the sea, there are many islands, and pirates are prevalent. The enemy is not only Otsutsuki, but also local powerhouses on the planet. Everyone was stunned. That should be it. They only care about Otsutsuki, but ignore the local powerhouses on each planet. Orochimaru said elegantly. I also have a guess. His Majesty once mentioned to me other worlds, which are truly different from the chakra system. There is a world outside the world, there is a universe beyond the universe. Perhaps, on which day, your Majesty will open a passage to another world, and we will have a chance to attack Otherworld? Wow. Everyone was shocked. Your Majesty opens up another world, shall we attack? A rush of blood rushed into my heart, and Uchiha Madara became excited. If this is the case, it would be very exciting. There is an unreasonable race like Otsutsuki in a world. Then other worlds, there must be strong people far beyond Otsutsuki. All kinds of emotions came to mind. Otherworld, how wonderful is it? 5 days passed in a hurry. The empire has been under construction, but today many people have rushed to the capital Zero. The imperial capital, the real world city, it has been expanded several times. It can be described as a real giant city. Ah, the imperial capital is too prosperous. I'm so excited, I heard that I can see the great majesty today. The former ninja and us were too naive, but who would have thought that your majesty is an immortal existence? Your majesty is here, Empire Yangchang, today, a new country was officially established. An invisible empire was established more than a decade ago, but now it has unified the world of ninja. I wonder if it will change the name of the country? People who are far from the imperial capital come here constantly to witness the establishment of the new empire. The announcement said, the whole empire bid farewell to the past and look forward to the new future. It will also start from today. The whole world of ninja officially entered the first year of the empire. Facts have proved how correct my decision to lead Hyuga into the empire is. In a certain corner, Hyuga Heishi was proud and looked at the Byakugan woman beside him. His wife. There is a new life in the belly, which will be born in a few months. It is specially brought, so that the unborn child will be happy. Perhaps he was born with a natural talent and was regarded as a disciple by a certain empire. Not far away. A little touch and change supported a woman. Mother, be careful. It's okay, I ran 3 laps around the imperial capital without any problems. The woman chuckled lightly, looking like a cheerful and heroic woman. Little Shisui's eyelids twitched beside him, be careful of the child. Shuai was silent, did not test whether the child was male or female. Whether Sasuke or Seiko, they will be guarded by him all his life. Not far away. Might Guy is wearing a Saint Soldier's costume, his eyes are firm and he looks at Kakashi not far away. Father, you said that hard work will never betray people. One day, I will apply to your majesty to revive you. Burning youthful blood together, Kakashi glanced, ignoring. Recruit Dan, you are still far behind. Obito, what are you doing in a daze, to maintain law and order? Suddenly, let Uchiha Obito feel excited and salute immediately. Yes, Captain. 5.7 Since his limbs were broken that day, Obito was really scared and made a lot of it. This captain is the devil. If I become stronger, I will definitely find my place. Necessary. What luck is it for us to survive? Third generation I sighed again and again. Fourth generation I was silent, but Killer B screamed. You fool, you B asterisk 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 D. Hurry up to the square, don't miss the time, oh yeah. Quickly, countless people rushed to the Imperial Plaza. From the outside, the square is only a few kilometers in size, but the inner space can be arranged from the edge. The internal space of the square, it's 100 miles away, never crowded. Densely crowded people stood there, looking at the 999-story high platform with anticipation and admiration, waiting for the sacred arrival in their hearts. On the high platform, Conan appeared. The ninja world is unified, and from now on, the calendars of all regions are unified and changed to the first year of the empire. All the citizens of the empire build a beautiful empire together. There is no more words. After finishing speaking, Conan said respectfully. Welcome your majesty. When the bright sacred light illuminates the square, everyone's hearts are surging. Here comes your majesty. Kneeling one after another, and began to speak with respect. Welcome your majesty. Chapter 172. Holy Empire, Marshals of Land, Sea and Air, Madara, Hashirama, Kagaya. Advertisement, from now on, Empire's new country title, Holy. Before the person arrived, Lan Yu's voice was washed away with the endless sacred light. Until the bright golden light gathered into a figure, when it appeared on the 999-story high platform. Countless people in the inner space of the square were excited. Welcome to His Majesty the Holy Emperor. I wish the Empire immortal and your Majesty eternal. Countless people were shouting, full of the enthusiasm of the Empire and the respect for Lan Yu. Also at this moment, everyone was surprised to find that a wine glass appeared in their hands. The wine is fragrant. Everyone looked up. His Majesty on the high platform seemed to be magnified countless times, extremely stalwart. Looking forward to a new future, and Kun encourage each other. Lan Yu raised his hand and cup to congratulate the Empire, the people, and the future. I wish the Empire immortal and your Majesty eternal. The people of the Empire cheered again and toasted and drank. As His Majesty said, a new empire will open a new life. This time the founding of the country, Lan Yu didn't do too much fancy. He just wanted to see, look at the people of the Empire and feel the admiration and belief in their hearts. This will make Lan Yu more motivated. The Holy Empire set sail today. There are many reasons for Lan Yu to change the country code. One is that the word intangible is inappropriate. The second is to create a sense of isolation for other people outside the original empire. As soon as the new country title was released, they were all their own. Otherwise, everyone is discussing. I used to be Konoha. Oh, I am a native of the invisible empire. Too messy, it will make people in many other places have all kinds of negative emotions. Third, a new empire, a new weather, a new country title, and a new set sail. I have to say, it's great. Those who joined the empire later, such as Hyuga Heishi, third generation I, Shisui, Might Guy, etc. 07, all looked at the stalwart figures on the high platform with emotion. No one thought about it. There will be such a day. People from all countries gathered together to cheer and look forward to the future. But when it happens, everyone found it so beautiful. It is worth everyone to guard for this. The new imperial policy is as follows. Amidst the excitement of the crowd, Conan spoke again on the high platform. The military rank system is open. The empire divides the army, land, sea and air force, maintains the stability of the empire, and eliminates foreign troubles. Field Marshal Senju Hashirama, God of Ninja. Countless people looked towards the high platform one after another. After all, this is a name that countless people in the ninja world remember. Brush. Senju Hashirama appeared on the high platform wearing a black military uniform with a marshal's cape. Solemn salute. Field Marshal Senju Hashirama, to see His Majesty the Emperor of the Holy Empire. This scene attracted countless people's eyes, obviously on the high platform, but everyone can see clearly. It's really rare for some people who know Hashirama to twitch their eyes. The solemn big pillar, suddenly a little handsome? Thanks for your hard work. Lan Yu personally matched Hashirama with the martial medal and patted him on the shoulder. Fight for the rise of the empire. Senju Hashirama's voice is strong and powerful. Starting today, be the Field Marshal, Marshal Marine, Uchiha Madara. Wow. As soon as the name came out, it caused a sensation, with countless people staring at the high platform with eyes wide open. God and Shira, the legend of Ninja World. I don't know why. Many people are more curious about Shira, Brush. Wearing a white military uniform and a marshal's cape, Uchiha Madara shocked countless people when he appeared on stage. That invisible aura is too haughty. The white area contrasts sharply with Senju Hashirama's black. Solemn salute. Marshal Marine Uchiha Madara, see Your Majesty the Holy Emperor. Looking at the class, Lan Yu felt emotional. The bloodthirsty Shira finally had something to protect with his life. What? Blackened is 3 times stronger and whitewashed weakly by 7 points. But the strong are qualified to define black and white. The squad guarding the Empire will explode far beyond the power it once was. Anything you want to say? Lan Yu asked if he was equipped with a martial medal for the class. I, Uchiha Madara, always move forward in the direction guided by His Majesty, and I am willing to dedicate everything to the Empire. Uchiha Madara's words are deafening, when the shift returned to the original position. Many people are in a trance. Shira, who guarded the Empire, loved it. At this time, Conan's eyelashes trembled slightly for some reason and said loudly, Marshal of the Air Force, Otsutsuki Kagaya. At this time, Conan hasn't finished speaking, because many people don't understand, so continued to introduce. Otsutsuki Kagaya, who won the first place in the Tri-Army competition, locked his vitality with great strength and fixed his youth forever at 18 years old. Lan Yu's eyelids twitched. Who wrote this introduction? However, this introduction attracted everyone's attention. The men were astonished and surprised. Women admire enviously. Suppress the heroes as a daughter and become a marshal. Otsutsuki Kagaya was once accepted as a student by His Majesty the Holy Emperor. His character is firm and courageous, and his literary talent prevails today. He was later selected as His Majesty's personal security guard. Today, he was awarded the post of Air Force Marshal, and his honor was added. It's too good. Countless people are shocked by Kagaya. He was so good that he was accepted as a student by His Majesty, and he also served as a personal guard. Suddenly, a valiantly beautiful image appeared in the minds of countless people. Do not. When a tall woman in a blue military uniform appeared, everyone was quiet. Marshal of the Air Force Otsutsuki Kagaya, to see His Majesty the Holy Emperor. Countless people have no words. Advertisement, just 2 words. Excellent. It really opened my eyes. Seeing Kagaya, Lan Yu was slightly surprised. Is this still that stupid Miss Kagaya? Look at the ruby eyes full of determination. Look at your exquisite face full of solemnity. Look at the steady and powerful salute. Take a look at it as a whole. Heroic and prosperous. Women don't let the eyebrows be shaved. Lan Yu is very satisfied. Kagaya has also grown a lot. Finally, don't have to worry about him. Lan Yu didn't say anything, and matched Kagaya with the martial medal. Kagaya said solemnly at this moment, anyone who dares to be an enemy of the Empire, anyone who dares to invade the majesty of your Majesty, anyone who dares to destroy the territory of the Empire, anyone who dares to harm the people of the Empire. Die. The last word burst like thunder. It stirred up the blood of everyone, and they cheered and shouted. Marshal Kagaya. Listening to the shouts of the crowd, Kaguya's eyes flashed with joy, and then he returned to solemnity. Back to the original position. Conan continued to read Admiral of the 3 armies. Army Admiral. Uchiha Izuna, Hitaki Shumo, Jiraiya. Marine Admiral. Namikaze Minato, Nagato, Kisame. Air Force Admiral. Uzumaki Kushina, Uchiha Mikoto, Tsunade. 3 Armed Forces Admiral alternates, Sasori, Senju Nawaki, Yahiko, Terumi Mei. The remaining Vice Admiral also, Tell. Conan is Lan Yu's new personal guard after Kagaya became Air Marshal. She is in charge of the sacred troops, not enter the armed forces. Kakuzu Ministry of Finance, White Zetsu Ministry of Information, Orochimaru Academy of Sciences. The above is the arrangement of the original members of the Holy Legion. The Sacred Army will remain unchanged, not enter the 3 armies, maintain the stability of the imperial capital, go out with the army in case of war, and follow the arrangements of the marshal. The captain leads admiral as an alternate. The squadron leader leads the rank of vice admiral. The captain leads the rank of rear admiral. From now on, the 3 armies will recruit 300,000 troops from the entire empire. Above. A few months passed in a hurry. The empire entered an era of steady development. Everyday changes everywhere. The population has begun to explode. The first year of the empire, July 23rd, Uchiha Sasuke is born. The first year of the empire, September 22nd, Nara Shikamaru is born. The first year of the empire, October 10th, Namikaze Naruto is born. The first year of the empire, December 27th, Hyuga Hinata is born. 5 years later, the empire is completely stable. All the people return to their hearts, and the times have changed. Hyuga family land. I'm sorry, my father. A very soft voice rang crisply, full of apologetics and cowardice. This is a 5-year-old girl. Wearing a white training suit with an imperial pentagram badge painted on it, the white pupils have a thin layer of mist, light blue and purple short hair, and the delicate little face has strands of weakness. Both small hands are twisted together. Hyuga Hinata. Hyuga Haishi couldn't help sighing. I was a little disappointed in my daughter's performance, but I didn't want to be too harsh. The empire now stipulates. The 3 armies need to be adults to join, and the sacred troops can enter at the age of 6. That 067 is the cradle of the strong. Hinata will be able to join the team next year, so Hyuga Haishi has been training Hinata so that she can join the team and have a good performance. The so-called family does not work in the empire. Only talents and strengths, only merits, and only being valued by high-level officials, can they gain the right to speak. Certainly, if it is valued by His Majesty, that is called Guangzong Yaozu. Hyuga Haishi only imagined it in a dream. Hinata is a good daughter. Kind, gentle, and sensible, but in the eyes of Hyuga Haishi, these are not enough to make Hinata stronger. The 5-year-old Hinata lacks a sense of self-confidence and is too shy and ingenious. In this case, it is estimated that he will be brushed off on the day of joining the team. Hyuga Haishi is very worried. The large size is not powerful. Do you want to practice a trumpet? No. The trumpet is ready, and it will be born in a few months. Hinata, what is your dream? Looking at her somewhat weak daughter, Hyuga Hiashi's voice became calmer. Dream? Hinata looked at Hiashi cautiously, blinked lightly, and said crisply. The Empire is eternal, your Majesty is immortal, the people of the Empire are happy and healthy, and all the family members are safe and happy. Ri nodded gently. Anything else? I dare not say a word. Hinata is very unconfident, but seeing the look in his father's expectant eyes, Hinata finally shouted out. I want to be stronger. I want to become like the Air Marshal Kagaya-sama, sharing the worries for your Majesty and fighting for the prosperity of the Empire. Buzz. In Hiashi's surprise, little Hinata's Byakugan, it's on. Under normal circumstances, people of the Hyuga clan need constant practice and exercise to open their eyes. Can be a little Hinata. Surprised Hiashi. My father, what's the matter? Looking at Hiashi who was inexplicably excited, little Hinata blinked in confusion. Hyuga Hiashi is about to say something. Now, a voice that seemed to be coming from far away shocked the father and daughter. Very pure Byakugan, not bad. Lovely girl, tell my concubine, your Nam chapter 173. I, 8 years old Hyuga Hinata, teacher Kagaya, challenge everyone. Advertisement, concubine body. And this voice, the voice echoing over the Hyuga clan shocked Hyuga Hiashi. Little Hinata's eyes widened too. It is said, only the Marshal of the Holy Empire Air Force can claim to be a concubine and one of her idols. Other idols Tsunade, Mikoto, Kushina, Terumi Mei, Konan, etc. They are all strong women of the Holy Empire, worshipped by countless women in the Empire. Hinata. Little Hinata immediately replied, her delicate face, which was originally weak, was very excited at the moment. My name is Hyuga Hinata. Are you the Air Marshal, Lord Kagaya? I have liked you for a long time. Hiashi couldn't help being stunned. Why is his daughter so courageous all of a sudden? Isn't she usually very shy? But Hinata at the moment, he looked like a little fan, and his face blushed. Hinata. Good name. The voice sounded again when a figure appeared in the training ground of the Hyuga clan. Hiashi held his breath, shaking inwardly. It's her. It's 8 o'clock in the evening, and it's time for get off work. The other party replaced the blue marshal uniform that he remembered 5 years ago. But the white dress at the moment, coupled with the moonlight under the night sky, makes the future look like a goddess. Peerless independence. Otsutsuki Kagaya. Especially those crimson pupils, full of attractiveness and lethality, one glance is shocking. Hyuga Hiashi, I have met the Air Marshal, Kagaya-sama. Hyuga Hiashi said in a respectful voice, then lowered his head slightly. He dared not take another look. Kagaya ignored him, her eyes all fell on Lil Hinata, which was precisely the Byakugan she had just turned on. Sure enough, pure, my concubine is very happy. Although Kagaya has long lost Byakugan and merged Tensigan with Samsara Sharingan, she still has a cordial feeling for Byakugan. Especially Byakugan is so pure, and is a cute little girl. Kagaya seemed to have discovered new world and looked at Hyuga Hinata carefully. Oh, it's really Master Wei Yi. Hyuga Hinata thought of one of the big photos posted in his room, and suddenly screamed. His voice was full of excitement, and his small face suddenly turned red into the setting sun. Zzz. Suddenly, puffs of white smoke. From a young age, Hinata's head floated up. Under Hyuga Hiashi's dumbfounded gaze, under Kaguya's puzzled eyes. Little Hinata was very simple. Byakugan turned over, tilted his head, and fell to the ground. But even if it falls, wishes of joy still hung on his face. Kaguya's figure flashed and caught Hinata. Looking at Hinata who was in a coma, Kagaya couldn't laugh or cry. What's the situation? Is the concubine body so terrible? Hyuga Hiashi was very embarrassed, wiped the sweat from his forehead, and said urgently. Kagaya-sama. Hinata, she was so excited to see you. Yes, that's it. Heaven. Earth. My daughter, please stand up. Hyuga Hiashi can't figure out Kaguya's temper. There are many legends that are good, who knows the truth? In case you get angry, isn't it the end of the Hyuga clan? Excited. Kagaya was shocked, then looked at Hinata, her eyes brightened and she smiled beautifully. That's it, is he a cute little fan? Seeing, the concubine is so excited, what does it mean? A true fan of 1 in a million. Seeing Kagaya turned out to be this kind of reaction. Hyuga Hiashi was even more confused. I feel inexplicable. What's wrong with the personalities of Hinata and Kagaya-sama? If you accept it as a disciple, must be a good match, right? No, how dare I think so? Thinking of Hinata's weak, unconfident and shy character, Hiashi sullened herself secretly. If Hinata is strong, brave and talented, maybe Kagaya-sama might still be admired, but it looks like this. Hyuga Hiashi has no confidence, but the next word from Kagaya completely stunned Hyuga Hiashi. So pure Byakugan's lovely true love fan, the concubine took it away. A gust of breeze passed by. Kagaya and Hinata disappeared. Only Kaguya's words reverberated. Patriarch, what's the matter? At this time, many Hyuga people came, looking at the empty venue a little confused. Ha 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 ha. Suddenly, Hyuga Hiashi burst into laughter. The one who laughed called a forward and backward close, and almost fell to the ground, tears streaming down his eyes. Okay. Nice job. As expected to be the daughter of my Hyuga Hiashi, my daughter Hinata has admiral funding. Ha 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 ha. Hyuga people. Finished. The patriarch is crazy. The Imperial Conference Hall. As soon as Lan Yu and Naruto communicated a new reform issue, they heard the announcement. Your Majesty, Marshal Kagaya, please see me, let her in. With that, Lan Yu looked at Naruto, the chief civil servant. I heard that your guy and Hashirama gambled and won 99 games in a row. The depressed Hashirama went to Madara to borrow money and was beaten by Madara? Nara Shikahisa. What can he say? It's really not his son's cheating. It's purely because of Hashirama Yuenchi's skills. Naruto immediately said, Your Majesty, I'm going to let Shikamaru pay back the money. This kid is only 5 years old and gambled. I have to beat him up. Lan Yu didn't care. No need, let Hashirama increase his memory. Next time I meet, remember to give me his money, don't keep him $1. Hashirama technical dishes. No luck yet. After all, you can teach a gambling master like Tsunade, the level can be imagined. Hashirama has been immersed in the dream of being the god of gambling in the empire. More fun in it. Listening to this, the deer couldn't help but hold back his smile for a long time. Okay, just follow the new policies just mentioned. Yes, Your Majesty. Naruto retired in a voice. Lan Yu is very satisfied with Naruto's performance in recent years. Not only did they perform well in the imperial government, but they also found a large number of civil servants with unique insight. Put wings for the development of the empire. Lan Yu is the king and never suspects his subordinates. In this way, each other is very relaxed. Lu Ju turned around and saw Kagaya walking happily with a little girl. Master Kagaya. Lu Ju saluted and looked at Kagaya nodding and passing by, which was amazed. Advertisement, if you read it right, is that the little princess from Hyuga? Lan Yu has a strange expression. Kagaya, why did you bring Hinata here? It is hard for him to imagine Kagaya, who is busy in the marshal's office during the day, reading at home in his spare time, and occasionally shopping with his sisters. Actually, I would be interested in Hinata, Your Majesty, Your Majesty. Kagaya was quite happy, and she smiled while holding Hinata. This little girl, the first time I saw me, guess what? Lan Yu is speechless. I don't guess. She fainted with excitement. The concubine feels so funny, too cute. Kagaya asked and answered, her eyes turned into crescent moons, and she made no secret of her love for Hinata. Lan Yu looked at Hinata, whose eyelashes were trembling, and asked, so what? Show off your true love fans. Just kidding, can my true love fan go from the imperial capital to the moon, believe it or not? So, hey. Kagaya also smiled. Yeah, what is the concubine doing here? She seems to have just come to share her joy with Her Majesty. After all, in her heart, all good things must be shared with Lan Yu. Student, yes, the concubine wants to accept her as a student. In Lan Yu's astonishment, Kagaya said, Pure Byakugan staying in the Hyuga clan is too wasteful, and the concubine can teach her perfectly. Now, Hinata's eyelashes are more beautiful. While talking, Kagaya rolled his big eyes and looked at Lan Yu. Your Majesty, the concubine was your student, and now she is the student of your concubine, then she is your student's student, so. Lan Yu frowned. Is this coming to me for benefits? But watching Kagaya look so happy and expectant, Lan Yu flipped his hand and appeared a spirit orb. Remember, if she can't become a talent, I will recycle it, understand? Well, the concubine knows it, she must be taught her well. Looking at the drop of blood in the spirit child condensing the spirit orb, Kaguya's eyes suddenly brightened. In this way, it's much easier. After all, by practicing chakra, Hinata basically bid farewell to the possibility of entering the Six Paths level. After becoming a thoroughbred Quincy, Byakugan bloodline is reserved. Although Kagaya is still the chakra system, she only teaches Byakugan to use and to advance Byakugan. No, don't be like this. Suddenly, Hinata opened her eyes nervously. Little Hinata fell on the ground, twisted his hands together, lowered his head, and said in a timid and crisp voice, Master Kagaya, this is too troublesome for you. I. Look at Hinata like this. Kaguya's brows moved slightly. Why is this child so weak? This will not work. Teach well in the future, we can be cute. But it must be hockey. Must be strong. Kagaya squatted slightly and encouraged. Little Hinata, listen to me. Raise your head and look at your majesty before speaking. It is impolite to lower your head, you know? Little Hinata was extremely nervous. Seeing Kagaya are so excited, then seeing the idol of Lan Yu, she is really afraid that she will faint in the hall. That way, your majesty will be disappointed. Your majesty, your majesty. Little Hinata kept cheering herself up, then raised her head slightly. Look at Lan Yu. This is really your majesty, alive. Moment. Little Hinata's brain is blanked. All kinds of excitement directly washed the whole body, making Hinata's small face suddenly red and white smoke. Emotions can't be suppressed at all. Wow, little Hinata fainted very simply. Kagaya fell in love. It is said that the concubine really loves fans? Lan Yu cut in. Well, your fans are really cute. Kagaya couldn't help being pitiful. Students of their own choosing. Kneeling has to finish teaching. Time flies. In a blink of an eye, another 3 years have passed. The empire became more and more prosperous. Many people have forgotten what the ninja world was like. The Great Holy Empire, it is the home of all of them. Now, in an office, there is such a conversation. A voice sounded lazily. Although you are still young, your strength is already pretty good. Go to the Sacred Army and take the position of captain directly to prove yourself. Yes, never let the teacher down. Although the answering voice was immature and crisp, it was full of firmness and self-confidence. Zhao Hao. The little girl who turned to leave, whispered something in her heart. Father, do you know what happened to me these 3 years? Try to open up, there will be rewards in the end. Holy Army, although it does not belong to the 3 armies. It is indeed the cradle of the 3 armed forces. The growth of the new generation has also brought a lot of fresh blood to the Saint Army. Also today, it's the day of the great contest of the holy soldiers. Because some of them are strong enough and experienced enough, they have entered the armed forces and are assigned to various positions. Many squadrons are vacant. Today is the captain selection contest, also today. One thing happened that shocked all the Saint soldiers. It was an 8-year-old girl who entered the playing field with a warrant. Holy soldiers, here I am. The little girl stood directly in the center of the venue, with awe-inspiring attitude. The pair of Byakugan balls watched the audience, and many people felt an inexplicable sense of oppression. The girl raised her little hand slightly, and Haki said, "The post of captain, I want it. All those who participated in the selection of the captain, let's go together. Hyuga Hinata, please fight." Wow, the audience shook. This little girl. Serious? Peas. Thank you, 254 *** 455 monthly ticket for supporting Fung. Anime. The Final Valkyrie. The battle between humans and gods, Liu Biyu vs Thor, and Qin Shi Huang in the later period. Highly recommended, currently 12 episodes, very passionate and messy. There doesn't seem to be Eastern god there, what if you suddenly want the protagonist to pass by? Chapter 174 to 1 vs 11, a life and death battle that shocked the audience. Hinata's horror broke out. Advertisement. Who is this, little girl? Hey, she's here to challenge everyone. I'm a little bit up. Don't tell me, the momentum is really strong, she's so cute. When the 8-year-old girl appeared in the center of the Saint Soldiers competition field, it attracted the attention of the audience. The most shocking thing is, as soon as she came, she asked for the position of captain and challenged all those who participated in the selection of captain. For a moment, many young men stared. Floating. Are the little girls floating like this now? After 8 years, Hidan has grown a lot taller and feels full of discomfort when he touches his big silver back. Deidara was even more upset. Have she never experienced severe beatings? Let me come? Uchiha Itachi is solemn. Since she dared to play, she must have the strength and can't underestimate anyone. Seconded. Kimimaro is quite serious. He will take every opponent seriously, even if the opponent is a girl a few years younger than her. Obito curled his lips and said, "You said, I'm so strong, what if she kills me?" Shisui grinned and said nothing. Might Guy still stared at Kakashi. 4th generation Killer B, Luo Sha, Yagura and others all looked at Hinata. Because they are all people who participated in the selection of the captain. 8 years of hard work. Prove it today, but an accident happened suddenly. Sister, she is the older sister. The playing field is very large, with people sitting around. One of them, a 3-year-old girl, Hyuga Hanabi, screamed in surprise. Yes, it's really her. Hyuga Haishi nodded hard and wiped his eyes, as if he couldn't believe it. This daughter, who only came back once a year, has changed even more. What a weak, coy, and shy. Tong has become perseverance, brave, and strong. All the spectators and Saint soldiers were astonished. But some people are more shocked than them, that is, people of the same age. They are all kids around 10 years old. Namikaze Naruto's eyes widened. Fake, right? Who is she? How dare she? Grandstanding. Uchiha Sasuke was quite upset. Even he is just a little saint, and he is not qualified to participate in the selection of the team leader. What's more, a strange little girl, 073 OK, Urzuzi is jealous. Is it the eldest lady? Hyuga Neji was startled, but he couldn't believe it. Hinata, who blushed when she saw people a few years ago, didn't dare to speak. So brave? Nara Shikamaru raised her forehead. It's troublesome, there's a good show to watch now. He knows the inside story. My father said that Miss Hyuga was taken away by Master Kagaya 3 years ago. God knows what freaks are raised by Gaara, Rock Lee, etc. Did not speak. So cool, so cute, good hockey. Yamanaka Ino, Tenten, Black Earth, Asters, Earth Spider Yellow, Tamari, Aroma Phosphorus and other girls were excited. Is it called Hyuga Hinata? Come on, beat everyone. The other side. Very strong. Kakashi's expression is also very wonderful. Kagaya-sama's student has been a teacher? Is it too small? As the third member of 10,000 years, Kakashi has never applied to enter the armed forces. He is still the captain of the third team. Previously, the children of Naruto were all from the third team. One can imagine how cold Kakashi is. Your Majesty, this is to take him as a full-time teacher? However, Kakashi was satisfied. Because of a few more years of hard work, he can be directly promoted to become the deputy captain of the Sacred Army. The rank is equivalent to admiral, the captain is Konan. Captain, what's the situation with this girl? Girls like Shirihong, Lin, Honglian, Xian, Anko, Maitreya, Sarah, and Sha Xing all looked at Yi Kang and Yu Wooden Golem. Yi Kang smiled lightly. I'll find out soon. Yu Wooden Golem also laughed. Maybe there will be surprises. Because of Hyuga Hinata's sudden entrance, and because of his age, news spread all over the imperial capital. Attracted the curiosity of countless people. After all, an 8-year-old girl threatened to fight everyone alone. It's too far-fetched. Kushina and others were also alarmed. Hinata, the little girl who has been thrown into various dangers by Kagaya in the past few years? It is said that AHFH has opened a lot of hangs, as expected of you, Kagaya. Lan Yu felt that only Kagaya could play this way. Only taught students for 3 years, just start doing things right away. Others don't know, but Lan Yu knows how much Hinata has on his body. Most people can stand it, there is no need to explain the open life. Hyuga Hinata. Ask again, are you sure you want to challenge everyone who participates in the selection of the captain? Kakashi asked again, and everyone on the field looked at Hinata sideways. But after a while, there were a lot of people eating melon around the venue. Yes, 8-year-old Hinata spoke firmly. He looked directly at Kakashi without being weak, and then looked around at everyone. Don't be afraid of any strange eyes and comments. Okay, I agree. The shocking thing is, Kakashi actually agreed? Deidara confided. What the hell is the captain? He doesn't really think that little girl can fight with us. Many people are also talking about it. Kakashi's voice echoed. Be careful to be quiet, and leave here again nonsense. All those who participated in the selection of the captain, immediately enter the venue and prepare for battle. Really, Hidan and the others were dreaming, but the captain spoke, and everyone entered the competition arena one after another. Now, many people were sweating for Hinata, you see. On one side there is a dozen men with tall horses and aggressive men, and on the other side is a petite and cute loli. Loli won't be beaten to death, will he? But Hinata didn't seem to see it, still standing there calmly. Uchiha Sasuke's unhappy eyes also change. Don't say anything else, just this courage, I admire it. Impressed. I madly dragged the cool 2 pillars that blasted the sky, and I really took it. Not to mention Naruto, Bai, Gaara and others, they admire them. Instead of them, you can only surrender, for a time. Hyuga Hinata had gained a lot of fans before he even started. There are so many female fans, one after another cheered Hinata. Are you all ready? Kakashi asked again. Advertisement? Obito and others let out a listless hum, not wanting to bully the little girl at all. Hinata is serious. Report sir, I'm ready, Hidan mouth, ready to pick it up? I don't know what I heard, Kakashi's ear moved, eyes full of surprise, and then he said in a deep voice. With additional conditions, this competition is based on the death of all one party. After the game, the dead resurrected without injury. Winner, see your majesty, wow, the audience shook. Kimimaro and others were shocked, this is an order from your majesty. Does that prove that your majesty also thinks this girl is very strong? This, Hyuga Hinata's pupils shrunk, and her small hand was suddenly held, putting great pressure on it. Defeated and killed. They're 2 completely different concepts. Uchiha Itachi and others did not have a weak person. Hinata took a deep breath. Anyway, can't let Kagaya teach her down. Wow, your majesty is too good at playing, right? Kushina and others who were observing secretly were also surprised. Interesting, Ju Madara drank a little wine and watched the game. That's it, you can't show your own strength if you don't work hard. Kagaya also had a heartbeat. Hinata, come on, this game. The result is unpredictable, don't be too proud at any time. Lan Yu watched the game in the hall. Hinata has the strength, but if he dares to challenge this way, he must be prepared to make sacrifices. Obito and others are the same, despising their opponents, sooner or later they will usher in a catastrophe. The 2 sides are fighting to death, no matter what the result is. Both will converge with pride. Lan Yu did not observe the future, no matter which side wins, it is a good ending. Let's start, after speaking, Kakashi withdrew from the venue. The grand barrier rose up, and the onlookers held their breath. Attack separately. Everyone immediately dispersed and surrounded Hinata, and Kimimaro was the first to take the shot. Dead Bone Pulse 10 finger-piercing bullet. Hidan instantly condensed the medium-sized sacred and disappeared into a sickle. Sacred Lost March Mirror Knife. Holy Lost C2 Dragon. Ling Magnet Style Gold Placer Burial. Ling Water Style Water Mirror Technique. Spirit Fire Style Extinguish the Fire. Sword Pressure Wongle Medical Swordsman. Sword Uchiha Flowing Sword Leaping Flames. The Bloody Suit Spirit Lightning Style Armor. The Bloody Suit 8 Inner Gates. The sacred destruction of Hidan and Deidara is simply unconventional. Luosha, Yagura, and Itachi are all new spiritual power systems. Killer Bee and Shisui have long-range attacks, the first wave of temptation. 4th generation Ai and Might Guy were ready, and after the wave passed, they immediately rushed for a fatal blow. Uchiha Obito came straight out, and Mangekyo's pupils moved forward. Kamui. Buzzing. The space around Hinata began to twist. Hiss. Now. Everyone's heart mentioned their throats, so many attacks, who can handle it? Tensigen, come on. Tensigen Spiritual Power Mode, open. Holy Text, open. Boom boom boom. A wave of tyrannical spiritual power and Ryotsu burst out, and appeared extremely unscientifically on the 8-year-old Hinata. In an instant, Hinata's Byakugan turned into a brilliant blue light. Brush. The whole person was wrapped in the materialized spiritual flame, and instantly disappeared in the same place, and came to a high altitude. Boom boom boom. The various attacks below have lost their targets and collided. The ground is shattered. Spiritual power paved the way. Wrong, unknown ability to fly. Just when Deidara and others looked up at Hinata standing in the sky. Little Hinata directly raised his hand. 9 blue spiritual power balls appeared in her hands. Not a truth-seeking ball, but a psychic ball that compresses a large amount of psychic power ultimate. Hurry up! Shisui shouted. Everyone suddenly moved away or attacked, defended, or avoided. Because they all felt the terrifying power that was about to be released. But there is nowhere for you to run away for a few kilometers away. Hinata's spiritual power exploded. The 9 spiritual energy balls suddenly spun, forming a blue halo, and a terrible tornado hurricane came in and out. Let's start. To show respect, Silver Wheel Reincarnation explodes. The sky burst. A hurricane that connects heaven and earth. Just as the world extinction disaster shattered the atmosphere, completely covering the field in the enchantment and rushing down without leaving a gap. The realm of shadows. Such a terrifying storm. Hidan and others entered the shadow space without even thinking about it. No one wants to fight hard, I said, you can't escape. The shadow realm is indeed a way to escape, but Hinata has a combo. Holy text, launch. Buzz, people outside the barrier. Seems to feel dazzled. Deidara and others, who disappeared before, reappeared in the venue. It's still the action before entering the shadow, and it's preparing to enter the state. What? Luo Sha and others were shocked, and even Hashirama and Madara who were watching the show became solemn. This is the realm of time. Zu Madara looked at each other. If you read it right, it seems to be very similar to one of Otsutsuki's unique abilities that His Majesty once described. No, it's not the same, because Hinata's world-destroying storm did not disappear, it was immediately suppressed. Boom boom boom. It was popped up inexplicably. Hidan and others, who had never entered the realm of shadow, suffered a devastating blow. Everything can be seen clearly, fortunately, the barrier is extremely strong. But from the outside world, you can only see the storm that strangles everything and lifts up the dust. It's gray. Rumble in the world, silence outside the world. Chapter 175. Obito. Report sir, I report, Hyuga Hinata cheated. Advertisement boom boom boom. The hurricane in the barrier is still destroying everything wantonly. It's as if time stands still, the audience was silent. The venue with a diameter of several kilometers is surrounded by many spectators, no less than 100,000 people. But at the moment they were stunned. This Majesty's license. A life and death battle that can be resurrected without injury after death. At the beginning, almost everyone thought that a dozen young adults would violently tear the 8-year-old loli to pieces. Can result. So horrible, incredible, guru, it's terrible. Namikaze Naruto feels cold, how can there be such a strong peer in the empire? Where did it come from? Damn it, what have I done all these years? Uchiha Sasuke opened his eyes suddenly, scarlet, and was obviously irritated. A real genius? Bai, Gaara, Shikamaru and others looked in a trance. If they compare with Hinata, that was an insurmountable horror gap at the same age of about 10 years old. Ah, idle. After a moment of sluggishness, Ino, Tenten, Black Earth, Shion, Aroma Phosphorus and other girls screamed. The existence of Hyuga Hinata at the age of 8 makes it difficult for them to feel jealous. Because the gap is too big, at present, one can only look up to worship. The strongest of the new generation is born. The sisters who grew up such as Shi Rihong, Lin, Shi Yan, are also very moved. Deidara, Obito, Itachi and others are all outstanding sacred troops, otherwise they would not participate in the selection of the captain. But at the moment, who knows how many died, sister is amazing. The 3-year-old Hyuga Hanabi clapped her hands excitedly and cheered. Hinata only goes home once a year. But Hanabi is very impressed, after all, she is a sister, and Hinata always sends her a lot of new things and small gifts. Blue eyes, what are those eyes? Baikugan evolution? Thinking of the dusty classical records of the Hyuga clan, Hyuga Heishi was shocked. Immediately, Heishi was full of pride. Well, I really deserve to be my daughter. Laughing could no longer be suppressed, Hyuga Heishi laughed that called tears, and finally spoke with certainty. My daughter Hinata has admiral funding. No, my daughter Hinata is a marshal, ha 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 ha. What the hell? Catching this sentence, Lan Yu brows, as if thinking of some classic quotations. This sentence seems to be a curse. I hope Hiishi's words don't affect Hinata. The big moves are all good, their power is too weak. The Pillar Squad watching the battle sharply commented at this moment. It's not that the big move is weak, but Hinata is only 8 years old after all. As Zu Madara said, inside the barrier, the storm stopped and the dust began to disperse. Puff, cough, almost died. Deidara's voice was weak, fearful, and disbelief. A dozen of them were almost caught by a little girl? Are you hanging up? What kind of eye is that? With the ability just now, the shadow realm doesn't work. Obito, Itachi, and Shisui got up and tried to remember Hinata's blue eyes. There is no specific record of Tensigen in the Empire. After all, there was no father and son at that time, and the huge Tensigen was directly swallowed by Kagaya. Hamura was also directly killed by Lan Yu. The Otsutsuki clan does not necessarily have Tensigen, so there is no record in the Empire. Yagura. Luo Sha. How come? The sudden sound of 4th-generation Ai caused Obito and others to look sideways, and suddenly their pupils shrank. Died. It's really dead, the whole body became debris. Kimimaro clasped his hands and took a deep breath. They died to protect me. What? Everyone was shocked. He immediately fell into a trance. During his 8-year military career, he had a good relationship with each other. The youngest Kimimaro received a lot of care. Arrow, but the baby-faced old man who even had his grandson. Rosa, his son Gaara is about the same age as Kimimaro. The two often sigh with emotion. Giving birth to a child is like Kimimaro. Then, it would not be so unexpected to protect Kimimaro from death at a critical moment. The battle of life and death starts with the two dead. The cruel reality gave everyone a huge spiritual shock, making them understand that this is not a game, but a real life and death battle. Puff. At this moment, a long and narrow spirit blade pierced the heart from behind Killer Bee. Behind him stood a calm little Hinata, and the azure blue Tensigen made no waves. Compare. 4th generation Ai's heartburst. Might Guy is also sluggish, this little girl really does not give anyone a chance. Completely regarded as a mortal enemy, the shot was decisive and sharp. Ashamed, they are better off than a little girl thought. Cough 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 cough, you idiot, you be asterisk 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 D, big brother, you must win, otherwise it would be too shameful, oye. Killer Bee vomited blood, and finally fell down with a smile, no more sound. Chance. Although the death of Bai was very shocking, I have to say that Hinata, who suddenly came to the ground from the sky, gave everyone the best chance. Not far away, Tsukuyomi, Uchiha Itachi's pupils moved forward. At the moment when Itachi Hitomi's power is on the move. The Bloody Suit Guillotine drop. ADVERTISEMENT, the Bloody Suit 8 Inner Gate's 7th gate is open. When 4th generation Ai came to the sky above Hinata like lightning when he dived and kicked. The Might Guy who opened the 7th gate exploded with the horror of physical skills, and the wave of air instantly shook the whole venue. Sacred Lost Flying Soul Dance, Holy Destruction C4 Gluta. Deidara and Hidan made their own big moves. Dead Bone Pulse Dance of Early Bracken. Mangekyo, Kamui is lost. Kimimaro is enough that the bone forests all over the site erupt. Obito combines the Divine Destruction with Kamui, and twists the Space Assault. That's it. Uchiha Shisui's Mangekyo pupil power began to condense, just waiting for this wave to pass. Kill directly. The audience outside the barrier held their breath again, and it was obvious that these people had grown up. Buzz. For a moment. Tsukuyomi instantly, Hinata only felt that the space was constantly changing, and suddenly came to a blood moon space. And was locked on the cross. It is undeniable that you, at the age of 8, have a power that ordinary people can't match. Uchiha Itachi walked slowly from a distance, holding a long knife. Your eyes also give me a feeling of surpassing Mangekyo, which seems to be comparable to Ban-sama's Rinnegan. However, maybe the museum is not as powerful as you. But my Ryotsu is stronger than you, this is your weakness. Hyuga Hinata was silent. This fact is so, no one can refute it. The spiritual power system has been cultivated for 3 years, even if it is suspended, it is difficult to catch up from Ryotsu. Like now. Hinata was about to forcefully break Tsukuyomi away with Quelly, but was suppressed by Itachi's Ryotsu. Stuck in a stalemate. Tsukuyomi, how long has passed here, and the outside world only has a moment. That's why you talk so much nonsense. Hyuga Hinata spoke calmly, and did not worry about being banned. For Hinata to know about Tsukuyomi's information, Uchiha Itachi is not surprised, and affirmed. You were right. When you have a mental breakdown, you will usher in the cruelest blow from the outside world. Hinata raised his eyes slightly, and the azure blue Tensigen looked directly. Then your captain has taught you that you cannot relax at any moment until the enemy is completely dead. Brush. Uchiha Itachi understood this naturally, he just wanted to gather information. 0. But obviously, Hyuga Hinata didn't want to say. Then start the death penalty. Uchiha Itachi immediately stabbed with a knife, also at this moment. Hinata's voice sounded. The time for everything, let me do it, and touch it myself. The space is chaotic again and again. Back to reality, Uchiha Itachi fell into a trance. What just happened? No, what am I doing? Yes, I want to use Tsukuyomi to attack Hyuga Hinata to fight for everyone's chance. But when Kai looked up, he found that Hinata looked away, as if he had known that he was going to release Tsukuyomi. No, there is a problem. Always pay attention to Itachi's Shisui, and found a big problem. Itachi's Tsukuyomi didn't play any role? Is this your ultimate move? Hinata's Tensigen looked around and found that everyone's attack was about to arrive. The Bloody Suit Lu Hu, Might Guy came in instantly. Tensigen Reverse Gravity Shinra Heavenly Sign. When Hinata exploded, he felt a terrifying mental attack. Mangekyo Distinguished Heavenly God's Light. Uchiha Shisui's pupil technique exploded. Distinguished Heavenly God's Light is another way of using the Heavenly Gods. 0. Pull the enemy's spirit to an illusion space completely controlled by oneself, and cause great damage to it, instantly turning its spirit into ashes. Shisui described this illusion. I can control everything in the illusion space, and there is no power that can compete with this illusion. Although it is a bit exaggerated, it shows the horror of Distinguished Heavenly Gods. Boom. Distinguished Heavenly God's light swept across Shisui's Ryotsu and instantly broke Hinata's spirit. The moment of mental breakdown. Attacks from all sides are coming. Boom boom boom. The terrifying explosion completely submerged Hinata, and the entire site was shattered, and a large cloud of dust once again covered everything in the enchantment. Hinata! Haishi exclaimed, and the cardiac arrest occurred. From Hinata's suppression of the audience to being suppressed by the audience, in an instant, Haishi felt his mood like a roller coaster. Too exciting, too scary. When the dust is gone, the result shocked everyone. Because Hinata stood there intact, as if the attack just now was a wisp of breeze. How can it be? This was Deidara's unbelievable exclaim, and a cold breath rushed into his mind. My move. Invalid? No, I clearly sensed that her Ryotsu was crushed, why was it unharmed? Shisui was sluggish for a moment, and couldn't accept this result. Itachi kept his eyes low, Might Guy was silent, 4th generation Ai lost his temper, Hidan had nothing to say, Kimimaro couldn't help but smile. Obito immediately yelled. Report to captain, I'll report, this girl cheated. Kakashi has a black line. Come, you show me a cheat. Speaking of, Kakashi was also shocked, Kagaya-sama's student, terrible. The power of time. Pillar Madara sighed and marveled at Hinata's ability to awaken the holy writings in the realm of time. Hinata sacred text. The Arc of Time. Summary. Within Ryatsu's perception range, flip the Arc of Time to rewrite the timeline of himself and everything. Restriction. Unable to move the time of things far beyond oneself. The stunt is back in time. Usage 1. Set the time for yourself. When you suffer from an irresistible force or destruction, the time will automatically be dialed back to the set moment to restore your own state. Alternative version. Izanagi. There is no limit to the number of times, all depends on the consumption. Just when Hinata was about to continue to do it, there was a burst of arrogant and disdainful words from the sky. I found you. The Shame of Otsutsuki, Chapter 176. The Otsutsuki trio, Momoshiki was slapped. Advertisement. Who? Hinata, who was about to kill another person, suddenly looked at the sky with his azure blue pupils. Because the Ryotsu of the Komer is definitely not an empire powerhouse, and he perceives that majestic energy. Obviously not a ninja can have. What idiot is it? Have the ability to get out of this uncle, Hidan yelled directly at the sky. The arrogant and disdainful tone of the sky, it's really unpleasant. Deidara, Shisui and others also looked to the sky and frowned. A sense of tyrannical depression was washed away. Buzzing. The sky suddenly twisted, and a space Uzumaki appeared. Uchiha Obito couldn't help staring. What's the situation, isn't this my hollow? Report to the sir. Someone is plagiarizing, swipe. 3 figures in white coats walked out of Uzumaki. Floating directly in the sky. A stupid man over 2 meters tall, a silly fellow, and a fisherman with a fishing rod on his back. What combination is this? Don't wait for everyone to recover. 2 figures appeared in the sky again, one black and one white. Suddenly, the audience exclaimed, oh my god, that's Field Marshal Senju Hashirama. My wife, come out and see, it's Marshal Marine Uchiha Madara. The 3 marshals are the patron saints of the empire, worthy of excitement for anyone. Brush. It's another, 0, 7, 3, a figure appeared in the sky. When this blue figure appeared, the audience was a sensation. Ah, it's Air Marshal Kagaya-sama, I'm suffocating. Woo, I finally saw Kagaya-sama again, so happy. Quickly, take pictures. The people present became excited. The last time the 3 marshals played at the same time was more than 8 years before the founding of the People's Republic of China. The photos are so pitiful, but whenever there are related things like photos, they will definitely be robbed. For example, in Hinata's room, it is full of photos of Kagaya, Kushina, Konan and other strong women in the empire. Unfortunately, no photos of Lan Yu came out. Over the years, I don't know how many young women and girls have wept in the night. Lan Yu. I am doing bad things with photos for your own good. If you are too tired, how do you work during the day? The warm cheers below. The 3 people of Otsutsuki Peach, Ichi, and Ura were in a trance for a moment. Hello. Please pay attention to us. When Momoshiki was about to speak arrogantly, Kagaya lazily said, it's you 3 scumbags. Hey, this woman. Pushi was taken aback, and said very politely, I wonder if you are? Madara's eyes flashed slightly, this guy doesn't seem to be arrogant? You are Otsutsuki Kagaya. Taking a closer look at Kagaya, Momoko's pupils shrank, and he sternly said, You have abandoned the sacred horns of the Otsutsuki clan and incorporated the messy power into Byakugan. You really are the shame of Otsutsuki. A peach-like explosion. The horns on the heads of the Otsutsuki clan are very sacred to him, and Byakugan is also the logo of Otsutsuki. But what about Kagaya? It's all gone. The ruby pupils almost didn't make him recognize. The clothes are also nondescript, without any Otsutsuki symbol. Momoshiki is angry. And you, I will never forget, all damn it, looking at Shangzu Madara, peach-like memories emerge. He will never forget the injury on his body, and it took more than a month to recover. Because of some other things, it was only a few years late. Hashirama shrugged. It's you, I remember you were running in a good posture. Ban embraced his arms and said indifferently, I thought it was the Otsutsuki clan coming, it turned out to be you, a waste of time. Boom. 6 paths class chakra erupts. Dao style angrily said word by word. I want to, you inferior students. Snapped. Suddenly, a chakra turned into a substantial slap and slapped directly on Dao Shi's face. Fly up to 100 meters in a flash. When Dao Pose stabilized the body, bright red palm prints appeared on the face, which suddenly swelled up, and a few teeth fell. The peach style is sluggish. It seems that I can't believe it. Someone dared to slap him in the face. Pushi could not help being stunned. It's fake, isn't it? I didn't even see it clearly. Snapped. It was another slap. Momoshiki's right cheek was swollen. Snapped, inferior creatures? Snapped, are you noble? Snapped, I will get angry when I see your face. Snapped, you are wearing a damsel, are you planning to marry? Snapped, aren't you proud? Fight back, snapped. You really are a trash. Papa 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 papa. Kagaya stood on the spot, waving his hands repeatedly in the air, and slapped her hands like a shadow on Dao Shi's face. Fancy hanging fight. His face was smashed. Every time Momoshi wanted to fight back, he was restrained in place by a tyrannical space, making him a target. The Byakugan beads were almost beaten out. She. Really Otsutsuki Kagaya? Pushi couldn't believe it. I couldn't understand it. Although he is always behind Xiao Dao yells, but Dao's style is very strong. Moreover, marrying someone or something, it's too humiliating to this man in Peach style. Get out of here, Jin yelled furiously. As the guardian of Peach style, how can I not be angry when I see Peach style being humiliated by Fancy? Can be the same. An inexplicable space imprisoned him, even hollow could not be broken. Advertisement the field below. Hundreds of thousands of people were dumbfounded. Ma, Kagaya-sama shot hockey like this, every action is so beautiful and so charming. For a time, everyone was so excited, Master Kagaya. That girly guy just broke out that chakra is very strong, but he didn't expect to be beaten by Master Kagaya in a blink of an eye. Teacher, Shisui and others were stunned. The strong and indifferent Hyuga Hinata turned into a gentle little girl at the moment, smiling sweetly. Really, is this girl dual personality? Hi, what did she just say? Hearing the two words that Hinata murmured, Obito was shocked and shocked. Teacher? Who is the teacher? Those three Byakugan guys? No, it's the enemy at first glance, that's one of the three marshals. I'm crying, how about you? Deidara spoke with tears. Hidan also had red eyes. I cried too, how about you? The corners of everyone's eyes twitched. Understand what Hidan and Deidara mean. I cried enviously. Since one of the three marshals belonged to teacher Hinata, it was understandable. We also want to have such a teacher. Buzzing, suddenly. A bright golden light swayed on the playing field. Hi, my injury is healed. Me too, the hidden injuries are gone. It must be your majesty, eternal and immortal. Might Guy and others were surprised to find out. Their injuries are recovering rapidly, and all minor injuries in training have recovered. Fourth generation I gave a pleasant surprise. Bai, Yagura, Luo Sha, are all resurrected. 3 people killed by Hinata, bathed in golden light and resurrected without injury. At this time, there was a majestic voice that washed the sky zero. Kagaya, step back. Yes, your majesty. Kagaya withdrew his hand obediently and gave a bloodshot peachy look with a light snort. One waste. Not worthy of letting the concubine act. Engrave. The peat bucket should be lost. The peach-like teeth are lost, the face is like a pig's head, and the opening is slatting. He grew up so old and was injured for the second time. The first time, it was accidentally injured by Madara. This is the second time, and it is also a shame that he cannot bear in his heart. But in the space confined by Kagaya, Dao Shi still couldn't break open. Let the angry peach style sink in his heart. Damn it, what kind of ability is this? Whose voice is that? Seeing that Kagaya was so obedient and there were words that made the soul hurt, Pushi's heart became solemn. Lan Yu's voice washed away again. All those who participated in the selection of the captain, kill them. Don't keep one. Wow. The audience shook. The courageous Obito shouted, Your Majesty, if we kill them, can we go to see you? After speaking, Obito's face was pale. I'm crazy, I'm crazy. What did I just yell for? How could he, a small squadron leader, make demands of your majesty? Can. A word that came. To Obito, this is the most beautiful and greatest sound in the world. Your majesty pays attention to me, did you see it? Ha 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 ha. Obito's face changed extremely quickly, and he turned around to show off arrogantly. Everyone was too lazy to bother. Hidan smiled cruelly. I don't believe it anymore, I can't beat that girl, and I can't beat them? No, it's not fighting, it's killing, Deidara mumbled. Playing against Hinata, even if the rules are cruel, it is still one's own. More or less can't let go of it, but these three. Since it's an enemy, go and die. Brush. Hinata was the first to rush into the sky. Choosing the opponent directly, this guy glared at the teacher. The enemy of the teacher, I will kill. Watching Hinata rush towards Momoka. Everyone's expressions stagnated. Let's not snatch this scary little girl with her. There are 2 more. Just siege. Kill. Itachi and others glanced at 5.7 and rushed up to pave the way with spiritual power. Because Jin is very strong, 4th generation I, Killer Bee, Might Guy, Kimimaro, plus Yagura, Luo Sha rushed over. The rest. One after another rushed to Pushi. The space imprisonment disappeared. Go and die. Dao Shi and Jin returned to their freedom, watching the rushing group of people furious. Is it okay to leave it to them? Hashirama is a little worried. For these 3 Otsutsuki clan, there are definitely more big moves than one, which is very strong. Madara said seriously. Remember, you are the marshal now, don't always think about being alone, the first one to rush up and so on. It doesn't matter if you try, they can't send Admiral, if Admiral can't, you can go on. Are you really Madara? Zu was filled with a moment of astonishment. Wow. Madara now has more and more martial style. Hashirama grinned and said, then why are you the first to come out and still remember dancing? I can't bear it, I know. Roll. Madara kicked Hashirama. With a flick of the marshal's cloak, the wind lightly fell on a chair and sat down. Ah, so cool. Immediately attracted the attention of countless people, such as Naruto, Sasuke, Gaara and so on. The style of that foot is so cool. Marshal of the Holy Empire Marine. Power Idol Group. Chapter 177. You are so terrible, swallow Jin's freezing time. Advertisement at the beginning of the fight. Hinata, Obito and others consciously led the Otsutsuki trio to the open area. After all, there are too many people on the venue. This battle completely attracted the attention of Admiral of the three armies. Kushina murmured, it's possible to lose a lot. Makoto chuckled and said, Hinata, they lost. Are you okay to play? Kushina's eyes flickered, but I still hope that the newly grown elites of the Empire will win. It's the future of the Empire. Buzz, watching them transfer too slowly. Kagaya directly raised his hand. Next moment, the Otsutsuki trio, plus the 12 Imperial members, were transferred to a mountain range outside the Imperial capital. How can it be? Seeing the surrounding scenes change, Dao is almost crazy. Has a problem. There is a big problem. This planet is so weird. Puff. Suddenly, Hyuga Hinata smiled with a stern face. It's really a pig-headed face made by Kagaya slapped by dozens of fans, plus rich expressions. It's so happy. It's like a pig performing here. Hinata. I have received rigorous training, and I usually don't laugh unless I can't help it. Damn its inferior creature, go to death. Watching Hinata laugh, Momoshiki felt that it was a mockery and was furious. Especially if an 8-year-old girl was sent to fight him, shame. Rinnegan coercion. Boom. An extremely grand blade-shaped shockwave, centered on the peach style, swept out in all directions in 360 degrees. Sharp impact. You can easily cut the earth and the sacred tree. Tensigen reverse gravity Shenra heavenly sign. Little Hinata was solemn and did not panic at all. Raising his hand was a tyrannical repulsion. Boom. The repulsive force collided with the impact of the blade, and directly shred the atmosphere in contact. The tyrannical aftermath forced Hinata to retreat again and again. Back hundreds of meters in a flash. Ah, with just one move, I found out that your strength is not strong. 07 Otsutsuki did not take a step back, his face was full of pride and disdain. Hinata was silent, her eyes firm. Whether it is strong or not, it depends on who compares. Peach style is 6 pads level. Short training time and too small body are all her weaknesses. Tensigen and the Holy Writing are stronger, it also depends on itself. Without further ado, Hinata came directly to the sky above the peach pose, and Tang Shin condensed a lot of spiritual power and pushed it horizontally. Iori airstrike. In an instant, several huge horror punches appeared in the sky, and each punch was pressed down with a powerful power cover. What Hinata learned from Kagaya is not only the use of Byakugan, but the advancement of Tensigen. I am also learning how to apply Kaguyu's bloodstaining ability to myself. 80 Gods airstrikes. I am currently simulating Iori airstrikes. A 10 is missing, and the gap is not small. Ridiculous physical skills. In martial arts, Dao Shi hasn't been afraid of anyone yet, he can kick a mountain to pieces with just one kick. Boom. Dao Shi did not hide at all, he kicked it directly, and a punch was immediately shattered by the kick. The prestige is undiminished. Point straight to Hinata. You are really proud. Seeing this scene, Hinata was very calm. Because 9 blue spiritual powerballs appeared in her hand, they had already spun. In the peach-style kick-shattering God airstrike, Hinata's ultimate move burst out, silver wheel reincarnation explodes. Tornado hurricanes across the sky appeared. The scope is huge. The peach-style pupils who had just rushed out of their punches shrank, and for the first time they ushered in a terrifying storm. Seal of sealing technique. Momoshiki raised his right hand subconsciously, trying to absorb the attack. Can be lifted to half. Peach style feels cold inside. Wrong. This girl uses the same energy system as the man, class, who once set fire to herself. It's not chakra, he can't absorb it, damn it, he forgot again. Boom boom boom. Hinata's attack didn't give Dao Shi too much time to think, and the destruction storm directly drowned him. Hashirama, who was observing secretly, smiled. He is a fool, right? Why is he always thinking about absorbing the attack? The second time, he laughed at me. Kagaya flipped through a book, and said calmly, the peach-style scum is just like this. Some habits are deadly when you breathe and attack. Face the chakra system. The peach-style right-hand sealing technique sucks seals, combined with the left-hand High Emperor's spiritual statue. The increase is returned, but it is not disadvantageous in the past. But facing the spiritual power system, 2 skills are directly abolished. Cause the peach pose, the whole paragraph collapses. It's too embarrassing for Xiao Dao to be injured by a little girl. The Otsutsuki Urashiki in the distance spit out from behind again. Obito's ear moved. Little Dao. Sure enough, that guy is a woman. Cough cough cough. Otsutsuki Urashiki was eaten immediately. Little is just that he shouts from behind, and from the front, he shouts Senior Peach, this human being will really distort my meaning. Otsutsuki Urashiki taste. Don't be heard by the peach-style seniors, otherwise you little guys will die miserably, that's too pitiful. The accent of this guy. Why is yin and yang weird? Although it didn't look very arrogant, but polite, Shisui felt that the tone was slightly mocking. Why aren't you on it? Are you afraid of me? Don't worry, I rarely kill people, at most I will destroy you. Pushi carried the red light fishing rod on his back and spoke casually. Do not. Hidan and Deidara came to Urashiki's back in an instant, enjoying the spiritual weapon sickle and spiritual blade, respectively. He hacked directly towards Pushi. Urashiki smiled in place as if he didn't care, but the Byakugan instantly turned into blue Rinnegan. At the moment when he is about to hack him, the whole body turned into a few red paper cranes and disappeared. Debate. Lefei and the two directly cut into the air, and their weapons collided. You are so terrible, you almost cut me down. A strange sound of Pu-style yin and yang came from behind the two of Lefei. 1,000 paper cranes instantaneous body. When attacked, they transform into red light paper cranes and reappear in any place. Tensu wave meteor fate. Pushi directly used the red fishing rod to shoot countless red fishing hooks, and attacked the two of them. Boom. Lefei and the two turn around are multiple sacred destructions, colliding with them. Kamui. Obito decisively used the pupil technique, ignoring the attacks and directly acting on Pushi, trying to twist his body. Advertisement. You guys, you really scared me to death. Seeing the distortion of the space, Pushi grinned, and the whole person retreated slightly. A dark space passage appeared behind him, and he retreated. Wangshen Hirazaka. Kamui failed. What? Shisui and Itachi, who were about to do it, looked at the closed Wangshen Hirazaka. The teleportation, just now, and the space shuttle now, all prove that the opponent is difficult to fight. King. At this moment, Dao suddenly yelled. Due to the frontal suffering of the reincarnation explosion of the silver wheel, the physical injury was not serious, but Momoshiki felt the pain in the soul again. He was hurt by a little girl. What a shame. Peach Style with anger decided to open it up. That is. Swallow Jinshi. Yes, Peach Style big. King resolutely gave up fighting with Might Guy, and chakra broke out on him. In the astonishment of everyone, Jin's whole person without hesitation turned into a luminous fruit full of energy, flying directly into the hands of Dao Shi. Peach Style gulping. Crack, click. At this moment, Hinata was also stunned. Otsutsuki, there's this kind of operation, you idiot, you B******************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************** shocked sunglasses fell off, almost thinking that she had hallucinations. Obito and others felt numb on the scalp. Lil Dao, you are really too cruel. Urashiki, who walked out of Hiroizumi Hirazaka in the distance, couldn't help frowning. Pu Shi is very kind to his family and cares about the safety of his family. It is difficult to accept Dao Shi's ruthless decision to Jin. But he couldn't influence Peach's decision. I really want to eat it. No, I should first extract the soul and remove its impurities. The concubine body only needs to be pure chakra. Somewhere, Kagaya said that the fruit was silly and his eyes were bright. For the Otsutsuki family, chakra fruit, tonic and tonic. Momoshi doesn't care about Kim's will remaining in it, but Kagaya feels it should be. This energy. Feeling the peach-style momentum is getting stronger and stronger, Hinata immediately opened the holy text. Time back in time. Hinata tried to flip the peach-like timeline, returning to the moment he didn't eat the fruit. The power of time. Let me teach you how to use it. There was a peach-like cold drink in the air, and chakra broke out. Time freezes. The moment Hinata toggled the timeline, Momoshiki also directly froze in the empty time without warning. It's not just stagnant Hinata. Together with Shisui, Luo Sha and others who were a few miles away, they all solidified here. The coverage is great. After all, the peach style of the original trajectory had frozen the entire alien space for as long as possible. This scene shocked Kushina and others who were watching the game from a far distance. Time stands still. The scope is exaggerated. Boom boom boom. At the same time, the peach-style chakra continued to erupt, becoming more and more terrifying. The image of the whole person changed drastically. Byakugan turned golden, the forehead opened golden Rinnegan, and the hands of Rinnegan also turned golden. The horns of the head became vertical, the hair was flowing extremely long, and dense black stripes appeared on the body. It can be said, eat Jin's peach style, compared with before. There is a world of difference in strength, universal pull. After turning on the golden Rinnegan, the peach pose directly exploded gravitation, and was not affected by the freezing of time, sucking the ferret and others in the distance. At the same time, a red weapon appeared in Dao Shiki's hand. It was Jin's ancestral god of wave, who made terrorist weapons at will. Go and die. At the moment when everyone was sucked over. 077 is still stagnating everyone's time. Dao Shi raises the weapon and smashes it. A blow with the power of God's weapon, enough to split the sky and mountains. Damn it. Obito and others felt cold. They're done thinking, not dead. Only death. The people of the Empire are not afraid. Rather, it is impossible to see your majesty. Obviously intending to kill 3 people and get a chance to meet your majesty, but who knew they would lose so quickly. Hinata's arc of time is also difficult to work. After all, the other party is also time. This is grind. Sitting in the hall and looking at Lan Yu here, he was not disappointed. Hinata is still too young, Shisui and others are not strong enough at present. Ryotsu hasn't been released yet, and it is frozen directly. Think of it as tempered. Boom. No warning. Momoshiki's right hand that raised the weapon was directly penetrated and cut off. Boom. The left hand is penetrated. Boom. The left foot is penetrated. Boom. The right foot is penetrated. The void of time freezing can't stop the penetration of this force. There is nothing to stop. Momoji can't even judge what kind of attack or where it came from. No defense will work. This made him terrified, but in a flash, the limbs were pierced one after another. Dao Shi swiftly moved away from the place and made a sound of great pain. Oh. This pain is not only the penetration of the limbs, but also the penetration of the soul. Intense pain in the soul. Peach almost broke down. Buzz. The time freeze is automatically released. Hinata and others immediately distanced themselves from Dao Shi, a little dignified. Far away. Jiraiya helped the forehead. Nagato, although your speed is getting faster and faster, the accuracy is getting worse and worse. Headshot directly. Nagato took the sniper rifle and said calmly, "It's a 6 pads anyway, how can I get a headshot with one shot? I'm going to abolish his limbs first." Shumao, Minato and others shook their bodies. Waste 5 limbs? This fine tradition, it was passed down from your majesty. Nagato is quite serious at the moment. The 5th limb is a delicate operation, and the goal is too small, it is very difficult. But I can't be troubled. Boom. The 5th limb penetrates. Momoko's voice is several times worse. Ah. Chapter 178. I am a treasure plow. The certification is activated and the time travel begins. Advertisement. Ah. The peach-like screams resounded across the battlefield and couldn't stop it. All the limbs are penetrated. That feeling is so cool to fly. Dao Shi's body arched up and fell to the ground, constantly rolling in agony. 07 Euro-E. It took a long time for Jiraiya, Izuna and others to utter these 3 words. Suddenly he was a little far away from Nagato. Sniping on the 5th limb, such fine sniping can be done. Obviously Nagato has grown tremendously. I really don't know how Nagato hit it. Seeing this scene, Hashirama looked strange and said, "Madara, your Marine Admiral is really a talent. Why don't you let Nagato come to the army?" The ball kicked over and continued to watch the game. Peach Style severely injured 5 limbs. Pooh Style was also dumbfounded. To know that swallowing Jin's Peach Style, the power makes him feel palpitating, but he hasn't had time to open it, so he is half worn. Pooh Style trance. But Obito and others will not let go of this good opportunity and kill the peach-like opportunity. Boom. Shisui 12 people. Ryatsu was released together, and he was ready to protect the Peach Style Urashiki, and suddenly felt a flash of heart. A sense of oppression from the soul. Suddenly, Pushi turned into a red paper crane and opened his distance. Die. At the moment of Peach-style stagnation, every one of the sacred and lost shots fell on him. In an instant, Dao Shi was pierced all over. Damn it, ah. The body is ruined, the soul is about to collapse, and the peach pose directly explodes all chakra. Forcibly lifted both hands with chakra, eloquent. The appearance of huge flaming flamingo directly caused the surrounding temperature to rise linearly. Ape Rock. The terrifying lava giant ignited magma on the ground as soon as it appeared. Dog feeding is healthy. Multiple dragon heads, snake bodies, earth and stone monsters roared out ferociously. The 3 big monsters suddenly appeared between the 2 sides like 3-tailed beasts, and Obito and others could not help but retreat one after another. 3 ghosts. Momoshiki's face is as hideous as a ghost, controlling 3 monsters and attacking together. What shocked Kunmaro and others is that the 3 big monsters, releasing terrifying lava, flames, and earth balls, did not attack them, but instead moved towards a peach-style attack. Is he crazy? Hidan exclaimed. The massive attack drowned the peach style. But the next moment, all the attacks disappeared in no time. Ah, go to hell. Momoshiki screamed in pain while roaring angrily. He has so many big tricks, in the end he chose his favorite one. Dao Shiki suddenly raised his left hand, and there was a small fire, a ball of magma, and a soil ball, which twisted and twisted together rapidly. The High Emperor's spiritual venerable. In the next instant, the lava fireball formed by the fusion suddenly magnified hundreds of times. Covered the sky in an instant. Ah, death, death, death. The increase of the High Emperor's production of Lingzhen absorbs ninjutsu. If chakra is sufficient, the increase will have no limit. The peach pose at the moment is like a lunatic. He poured all the chakra in without hesitation, and in a blink of an eye the huge lava fireball increased several times. The color becomes deep red and spins at high speed. A crimson spiral that was huge and endless for thousands of meters appeared, completely covering the sky of the battlefield. Hiss. Deidara and others exclaimed. However, the expression is weird. This guy is stupid. The time was frozen before, why didn't Shenluo Tianzheng wait? But playing this kind of energy-wasting moves, in their eyes. This trick is flashy and can't hit them at all. The huge crimson spiral rushed over. Hinata and others were very calm, their figures flashed and entered the realm of shadows. Boom boom boom. The huge roar completely shattered the earth, leaving nothing behind. Chakra finished. Momoshiki fell to the ground. Lan Yu watching the game was very calm. Dao Shi is Naruto, the original trajectory is chakra, because chakra is not enough to be defeated by the bloggers, and there is no rules. But Lan Yu finds it very interesting, because Dao Shi likes to make random moves, but he is not an idiot. It's just event before death. Die. From within the realm of shadows, everyone released multiple sacred destructions, and losses, and together they made hundreds of lasers. Time freezes. Buzz, at this moment, Momoshiki suddenly raised his head. The time freeze appeared again. Everything freezes. Hidan and others were shocked. The guy who was seriously injured and dying chakra exhausted, even has the ability to zoom in. Hollow, your abilities are too similar to the Kim's, it seems to come from the blood of Otsutsuki. Momoshiki came to Obito instantly and murmured. With that, Momoshiki also glanced at Hinata. Her Otsutsuki pedigree in her eyes was stronger, and she was a suitable candidate. But I am peachy and never choose a woman. Your red eyes will take everything from you. Leaving Obito's words, Momoshiki's whole body dissipated invisibly. Buzz. Time and space freeze lifted, everyone breathed a sigh of relief. Hinata frowned slightly, his Ryotsu completely disappeared. It must be dead, although I don't understand how Otsutsuki died so cleanly, Hidan is still sure. Because of the previous Nagato's attacks and their attacks, the peach-like soul was riddled with holes, but it was the last eruption. Now Ryotsu also disappeared. All are proving that the other party is dead. With that, everyone looked at Obito. Although time was frozen, they saw Momoshiki rushing to Obito to whisper something with their eyes. Hello, what am I doing? Obito looked emotional, his face rose, and Red said, time is frozen, don't you think that the sound will still be heard? I didn't hear what he said. I seriously suspect that he was jealous that I was so handsome, he scolded me before he died, and cursed me, *hole. Obito was rather upset. If you die, you will run to my side and yell at me. Are you crazy? Call. Everyone was speechless. I'm jealous of you, a big-headed ghost, advertisement. Wonderful, really wonderful. Otsutsuki Urashiki clapped his hands thousands of meters away, far away from everyone. Urushi glanced at Obito one more time, then smiled, you guys are so scary. I didn't expect Shoutao to fall into your hands, which opened my eyes. It was this yin and yang tone again. Everyone's expressions were serious, and the jealous poo style also came for a time to freeze. But this guy is so far away, are you ready to run? I came into this world a few days ago, and I pretended not to know anything. In fact, I am very interested in the master of the Holy Empire. With that said, a treasure like a tortoise appeared on Urashiki's hand. That is Kagaya, who was watching the game in secret, frowned slightly. Seen somewhere. On the book? Or, Yoruichi didn't think of it, it seemed like a long time ago. Lord of the Empire, Pushi squinted his eyes slightly. Kagaya can beat the provocative style, so much better than the peach style, should also be better than himself. But the Lord of the Empire should be stronger than Kagaya, that is stronger than himself. Then the question appeared on the Lord of the Empire. If you understand it right, it was probably more than 20 years ago. Pushi flicked the tortoise. The tortoise moved its lower limbs and head like a machine, and its voice was like a machine. Authenticated start. I am a treasure, plow. The next moment, the tortoise shells separated, and a golden ball of light appeared in the middle. And floated slowly. Noting that Hinata and others moved, Pushi raised his eyebrows. Please hurry up. The tortoise is very obedient. The speed rose sharply, and an extremely bright golden light surrounded the Poo style. Kamui, Obito, a kilometer away, exploded with pupils regardless of his energy. It distorts the space, but has no effect on Jingguang. Damn B**************************** D. He really wants to run away. Hidan and others rushed over quickly, but it was difficult to cross a kilometer in an instant. Brush. A black and white figure flickered, directly rushed into the golden light. It's two marshals. He can't run away. With a startling glance, everyone breathed a sigh of relief, a little bitter. I usually feel that my strength is okay. But in the face of Otsutsuki, he made many mistakes, was in a terrible state, and was not strong enough. This battle. It undoubtedly wakes them up, they are still very weak, and the road ahead is still very strong. In that kind of anime, a few genin dared to chase Otsutsuki and fight without injury. It is impossible in the real world to happen. 6 paths, no joke. Brush. Kakashi also rushed here, looking at everyone's decadent appearance, calmly said, 6 paths is 6 paths after all, not a playhouse. Congratulations, you passed the assessment. Follow me to meet your majesty. What? Still have a chance? Everyone was stunned, and then overjoyed. At the same time, the golden light disappeared, after rushing into the golden light. Column Madara discovered that this is a different space of colors Madara. Urashiki is adjusting something ahead. Are you here? It's a pity that it's a step too late. If you have the courage, just follow it, maybe there is a surprise. After Pushi spoke, he turned and jumped into a space Uzumaki. Zu Madara glanced at each other, decisively jumped in. It is no longer the first 8. At that time, they broke into the Kagaya clone space and couldn't leave at all. But now, the spiritual power system has become more comprehensive. The two of them studied a lot of spatial spirituality. There is no fear of different spaces at this moment. Time breathes. Lan Yu's perception also fell here. Immediately, Lan Yu smiled inexplicably, interesting. But too naive. Buzz, after jumping into Uzumaki. The space is constantly changing, giving Zu Madara a feeling of transcending time and space. Next moment, it was dawn ahead. Relaxing on the ground, Zu Madara looked around and found that it was a small forest. Yes, see that you are, Jiao Jiao, a small town. Look in the direction Hashirama pointed. Ban squinted slightly. The front view is wide and there are many large and small buildings, compared with the buildings here. Boom. Madara gave Hashirama a backhead. Hashirama dumbfounded. Why are you hitting me? I didn't do anything wrong. What a small town, this is the Imperial 5A Konoha tourist attraction. Konoha scenic area? Hashirama was shocked, and then extremely disappointed. For a long time, that different space is the road to the Konoha scenic area. Why did you dare to follow up? I was here last week. Having said that, Hashirama thought of something and suggested. Let's go, I will have strength after eating. The ramen I ate last time is good, I invite you. The owner of Yhwach Ramen, handmade the cooking is very good. Take him to the imperial capital sometime, Hashirama thought so. Now, Madara did not answer. On the contrary, he looked at Konoha again. The more he looked at the eyes, the stranger he looked, and he was a little shocked. No, this is not Konoha. No, this is Konoha. Hashirama is a little confused. What did Madara say? Brush. The ball flew to the sky. Hashirama followed, and the two looked down. Looked at her husband a few times. The two frowned. The emotions in his eyes, such as consternation, shock, and incomprehension, are extremely complex. It is indeed Konoha, but it is past Konoha. Chapter 179. Pushi crosses the past to kill the baby Lan Yu. A glance at 10,000 years, death. Advertisement. We, unexpectedly, coming to Konoha in the past? Hashirama and Madara were confused for a moment, and then their expressions were extremely solemn. Konoha below is not an Imperial 5 a tourist attraction at all. There is no sign of the Empire, and it is much smaller, and there are no sign buildings built later. Obviously, over 10 years, or Konoha 20 years ago. Good means. They understood in an instant. Otsutsuki Urashiki took out the golden light released by the tortoise in order to go back in time. What to do back in time? Murder? Robbery? Who killed Konoha? Your Majesty. Hashirama and Madara looked at each other and spoke in a deep voice. Otsutsuki Urashi, come to Konoha to kill His Majesty the Holy Emperor. Because Konoha more than 20 years ago, but Your Majesty's weakest period. As far as they know, it was a baby who suddenly appeared in Konoha jungle and was then taken back to the orphanage. This is the beginning of Your Majesty in the Shinobi world. Nobody knows. Who are Your Majesty's parents and why they appeared in Konoha jungle? Is it abandoned? Or from another world? Or is it born by nature? A god who fell into the mortal world? It's all possible. Damn that guy. Thinking of what Otsutsuki Urashiki might do, the two directly began to perceive Ryotsu, and tried to perceive everything. And quickly rushed towards the Konoha orphanage, although the orphanage in Konoha scenic area was sealed in dust during the Imperial era. But the two knew where they were. Is he not afraid of causing chaos in time and space? Ah, leave this world after killing, what is he afraid of? When they rushed over, the Zuban exchanged ideas, and the more they thought about it, the more angry they became. That Otsutsuki Urashi, it's not enough to die 10,000 times. Go back in time to kill. Whether or not it causes chaos in time and space, it has little effect on Pooh style. Big deal to leave the ninja world, whether your world collapses or not. Ninja, there is no so-called world consciousness at all, world laws and the like, the essence is not strong, and the level is not high. It's an ordinary planet. Lan Yu rarely interferes with the past, just doesn't want the chaos of time and space, but Pushi doesn't need to worry about this at all. After killing, leave and go directly to the Wei nationality. What can I do with Pooh style in ninja time and space? Found him. No, he disappeared. Madara, who rushed over, sensed Urashiki Ryotsu, but at that moment he disappeared again. The two felt vigorously again. After 10 seconds, he vaguely perceives a ray of breath, which can be extremely far away from the ninja world. The distance exceeds the sky, it seems to have penetrated the atmosphere. Zuban suddenly rushed to the sky, 10 seconds ago. Konoha Orphanage. Otsutsuki Urashiki's expression changed countless times, and he was a little angry. Not actually, damn it, what about the others? The information he secretly collected was at this point in time, the infant period of the Lord of the Empire. Obviously the time is very accurate, but none of the babies here is the one in the intelligence. Are you looking for me? Suddenly, a voice seemed to sound from within the soul, making Pushi's expression drastically change. Space is changing rapidly. When Pushi-ji returned to his mind, he realized that he had come to outer space. The planet is under your feet. Trouble. Pushi's heart sank. It was extremely terrifying to be able to transfer him from the ninja world to outer space in an instant. When Urashi looked forward, he held his breath. There was a gorgeous throne floating in space, on which sat a very handsome man. His eyes were as deep as a black hole, and he looked at him so peacefully. How can it be? Pushi's eyes widened in amazement. The other side was obviously just sitting there, but he had a feeling that made him desperately want to surrender, and there was an indescribable power of the king. What shocked Pooh style most? The terrible aura that unconsciously exudes gave him the illusion of facing Patriarch Otsutsuki. No, it's not right, so contrast, it's an insult to this king. It should be, far beyond the Patriarch Otsutsuki, far beyond the terrifying aura he imagined. And yes, the unconscious naturally radiates, tick, follow me. But after a glance, Pushi's forehead started dripping drops of sweat. The more you feel, the more frightened. Pushi, excuse me, is it too late to kneel down? Give me the plow. Lan Yu's spiritual power stirred the void and sounded, looking at Pushi with plain eyes. Looking at this guy who dared to cross time and space to kill himself. It's amazing. Lan Yu was amazed. It was not Pu Shi's plan to go back to the past and kill himself. Instead, Pu's style is a treasure to rely on across time and space. Time and space treasure. Plow. The treasure of the Otsutsuki clan was lost in the deep sea of Ninja World for some reason. Pu Shi came a few days earlier and accidentally discovered that he had been salvaged. However, the plow that was just salvaged was just a bump, similar to earthenware pottery. Only the Otsutsuki clan can start the plow and restore its original appearance. It is the tortoise used before Pu Shi. Is it technology, or what? Lan Yu is interested in plowing. Being able to make treasures that travel through time and space, Lan Yu spoke highly of the Otsutsuki clan. It is much better than the golden rope, banana fan, and amber bottle made by Otsutsuki Hagoromo. Type. Pu Shi was single-minded in his heart, and that plain tone was full of indisputable. If you don't give it, you will die. If you give it, you will die. The other party will never tolerate his own actions. Pu Shi is very clear about this. His Majesty. Looking all the way, Madara, who came to outer space, was surprised. What's the situation? Isn't this more than 20 years ago? What about the said baby? Is there never a baby? Everything is the illusion of everyone. Your Majesty has always been strong. Madara thought so. Thinking too much. Lan Yu noticed the eyes of the two. Obviously they were thinking too much. He is really an adult who has crossed time and space from the Earth to the Ninja World, but his body has shrunk into a baby. Advertisement fell in the Konoha jungle, really dressed. Ninja World is just a small planet after all, consolidating its own timeline. There is no power in this world that can stop Lan Yu from consolidating his timeline. Because it condenses its own timeline. So, regardless of the past, present, or future, there is only Lan Yu in the Ninja World. After he closed the timeline, in the time and space of the Ninja World, there is no so-called baby Lan Yu in the past, but a stronger Lan Yu in the future. Only current. It will not affect time and space. So, Pu Shiji went back to the plan to kill Lan Yu. Not at all. Certainly, limited to the Ninja World. He has always felt the growth of time and space. Okay, I'll give you. Otsutsuki Urashiki Chakra spoke in a deep voice with waves, bowing his head slightly. At the moment he, bowed his head, Byakugan, directly became the red light 6 Go Jade Rinnegan. Unlike the previous blue Rinnegan, the red 6 Hook Jade Rinnegan has only one ability. Speed up, the opening and closing of Wangshen Bilangzaka. Tiansubo Meteor Life Dragon Palace. Pu Shi suddenly raised his head and hands. A purple chakra shaped like a four-pointed star was released from the palm of the palm, and then a black and purple giant snake appeared. As soon as the giant snake appeared, it began to release huge fuchsia chakra balls. Presumptuous. Zubin burst out. Hashirama went to destroy the giant snake, and Madara instantly moved towards Pu-style attack. The Pu-style giant snake is just a feint. Lord of the Empire, never see you again. Rinnegan's pupil power advances and accelerates the opening of Wangshen Bilangzaka, and the dark space opens instantly. Pu Shi jumped in and escaped without thinking, close immediately. In his opinion, Lan Yu is obviously not something he can contend with. Of course he has to run away. Can't beat. Can you always run through? Run, run, run? I don't know how much space has spanned. Pu Shi tried his best to escape in the space channel. After a long time, he felt that no one was chasing him before he relaxed. Buzz. Wangshen opened Bilangzaka, and Pu Shishi walked out, in shock. It's terrible, that man, just sitting there makes people lose the courage to fight. What kind of monster is it? Also at this moment, Pu Shi's expression became dull. Because there are two Dao, accompanied by the sound of spiritual cleansing sounded. Hey, Madara, is this guy a fool? He's back again. Huh, I finally saw a guy more poisonous than you. Fake. This is fake. Pu Shi turned his head stiffly, and his heart was terrified. Lan Yu was still sitting there peacefully. Zhu looked at him playfully. Idiot, there is your majesty here, still thinking of running away, dreaming. I have always wanted to know. Lan Yu's voice was washed away with spiritual power, making Pu Shi very frightened. How old can the Otsutsuki family live? What's the meaning? Pu Shi suddenly felt an extremely bad feeling in his heart. 5,000 years at a glance. Lan Yu's eyes lifted slightly, and the power of time fell on Pu Shi's body in an instant. Under Madara's surprised gaze, Pu Shi seemed to have suffered a great horror and struggled in place with extreme fear. It's useless. The light blue and white short hair grew for an unknown number of meters in an instant, as if it had grown naturally a long time in the past. Pu's face also went directly from a young man to middle age. What have you done? Pu's voice was filled with weakness and fear. His vitality instantly diminished. He felt that if there were no new chakra fruits or chakra dan swallowed, he would quickly go to decay. No, he is still young, only more than 2,000 years old. About 10,000 years? To be precise, Urashiki is about 10,000 years, so the Otsutsuki executives are not necessarily? After 5,000 years of time, Lan Yu could feel some decadent aura radiating from Pu Shi. It was a race that made countless people in the ninja world jealous to death. Those high levels may be able to live longer, or if chakra fruit has been swallowed, it will replenish vitality. Even stay alive. Pu Shi simply has no energy supplement. By the way, The clothes are also very durable, it hasn't been bad for 5,000 years. You damn it, once Pushi is offended, he will be completely violent. Crack. Under the pillar Madara frowned. Pushi directly swallowed his Rinnegan and Hongguang fish money. A luminous goalkeeper Pu-style shrouded, and the shape changed in a blink of an eye, and the momentum surged. The eyes are golden, the forehead opens to the golden Rinnegan, his body is covered with black stripes, his feet have turned into black claws, and his arms are like wings. Whole person. Like a crane. A glance at 10,000 years. It was so ugly, Lan Yu took another look. Ah. Pushi was desperate. His vitality disappeared instantly when Lan Yu looked at him. Under the gaze of Zubin, Pu-style body and clothes turned into dust at this moment. Soul. Dissipate. It was Lan Yu who swallowed the soul energy. Your Majesty, who can handle this trick? Hashirama and Ben wanted to understand what had just happened, and couldn't help but marvel. A man of Otsutsuki who lived forever was decayed to death. Those Otsutsuki people know, will you be scared to death? I see. Before devouring Pu-style soul energy, Lan Yu read all his memories. I learned a lot about the Otsutsuki clan, many of which Kagaya didn't know. More is the change of the Otsutsuki clan after Kagaya left. Plow. Lan Yu looked at the little tortoise in his hand and opened the corridor of time and space. Let's go, back to the Empire. Yes, Your Majesty. Pillar Madara followed. The journey of time and space is over. Chapter 180. New Top 10 Captain, Hinata. My teacher is super wise. Advertisement, Your Majesty, this is not a technological product. It should be Ultimate's yin and yang escape, creating form in nothing, assigning orders to form, and with extremely strong special abilities, it gives time and space into it. The golden ball inside contains extremely rich and high-quality chakra. Similar to Otsutsuki Hagoromo's upgraded version of those ninjas left behind. Having said that, Orochimaru looked at the tortoise in his hand and was amazed. Ultimate of yin-yang escape can create everything, give life to it, and has powerful destructive power. Similar to his fantasy creation, but there is a fundamental difference. The man who made this time-space treasure plow should. Orochimaru couldn't help looking at Kagaya on one side, and said uncertainly, it should be no weaker than Marshal Kagaya. Kagaya didn't care. You don't need to be so scrupulous, it's a treasure of the Otsutsuki clan, and I can't make it either. Otsutsuki treasure? This sentence caught everyone's attention. All had great interest. After all, it is a treasure that can travel through time and space. Leave it to you, Kagaya. Decided to hand over the plow to Kagaya, Lan Yu hoped that Kagaya could analyze all the power in it and use himself to go up. Orochimaru was not very interested. This kind of treasure is difficult to analyze with science and technology. Well, my concubine likes this gift. Kagaya smiled happily, eyes flickering. He raised his hand and sucked the plow from Orochimaru's hand. Who gave you a gift? Lan Yu looked at Hinata and others standing in the main hall. For a while, Obito and others were nervous. They also met Lan Yu during the founding of the People's Republic of China, but they never had the chance to meet. Hyuga Hinata. I saw it 3 years ago when I was 5 years old, and I was busy cultivating the rest of the time. It was also the second time I saw Lan Yu. Unlike the strong hockey in the arena and the battlefield, the little Hinata at this moment lowered his head again and twisted his hands together. Hinata, look up. Kaguya's brows moved slightly, showing the majesty of the teacher. What's the situation? I usually teach well. He also performed very well in the battle, but he couldn't do it once he got to Your Majesty. This girl must have schizophrenia, Deidara murmured. Who has such a polarized personality? A cat will be fierce at the same time. Brush. Hyuga Hinata took a sharp look at Deidara suddenly, and the blue pupils flickered, full of danger. Damn. Deidara's heart jumped, it's terrible to scream inside. At that moment, he thought Hinata was about to hit him with a fist, so Deidara didn't want it. I can't afford it, I admit it, Hyuga Hinata, see His Majesty the Holy Emperor, Your Majesty is eternal. Little Hinata's small body, half kneeling down, screamed respectfully. Although crisp, but very firm, array instrument. Really worthy of being a concubine student. If you look closely, you will find that Hinata is still bowing his head at the moment. And the little hand trembled, but because of seeing the action. Ignored by everyone, it seems that Your Majesty is the last hurdle in Hinata's heart. Kagaya thought so in his heart, she thinks she teaches well. Her student Hinata is now very brave and determined, and some hockey. Seeing Zu Madara still looks calmly and salutes, everyone can't help but praise Admiral's posture. In this way, there is no reason to be weak and shy when meeting Your Majesty. Concubine. Students can't be weak. Kaguya's ruby eyes twitched, looked at Lan Yu, and then at Hinata. Regardless of whether you are afraid, thinking, or nervous, as long as you have more contact. All is not a problem. Kagaya praised her wit. Hinata, I was arranged by the teacher again. What bad things is Kagaya thinking? Noting the faint smile of Kagaya thief Shishi, Lan Yu thought of Kushina a little. When the two smiled, something strange must happen. Yi Kang and Yu Wooden Golem have already submitted their applications and will report to the Air Force tomorrow. When Lan Yu signaled, Conan looked at Shisui and others. In an instant, Hidan's eyes lit up. 2 more captain positions are vacant? The reason why they are so obsessed with the captain is because the sacred troops are directly under Your Majesty, which is 1 level higher than the 3 armies. This is a higher level, it's not to meet people at a higher level. Instead, the captain leads admiral as an alternate, the deputy captain admiral, and the captain is the same as the marshal. Look at the admiral candidates of the three armies, Terumi Mei, Sasori, Nawaki and other former members of the Holy Legion, who are extremely powerful. The strength is not comparable to the captain, but the ranks are equal. The ranks of the holy soldiers can be upgraded faster. Competitive pressure is also greater. 10,000 years youngest Kakashi is the representative. The most important, directly under your majesty. In the future, there will be more choices. You can enter the armed forces or stay in the team for management. Conan continued. Hitaki Kakashi, the third captain, was promoted to deputy captain of the Sacred Army. I am promoted? Kakashi didn't react for a moment. Didn't you say that it's good to do it for a few more years? What should I do if I am suddenly a little excited? Now declare the captains of the sacred troops. First Captain I, Deputy Captain Killer B. Second, Captain Deidara, Deputy Captain Hidan. The third Captain Hyuga Hinata. Advertisement, Captain 4 Uchiha Obito, 5th Captain Uchiha Shisui. The 6th Captain Uchiha Itachi, the 7th Captain Might Guy. The 8th Team Leader Kimimaro, the 9th Captain Luo Sha. 10th Captain Yagura. The captains are in no particular order. The number of people under the command is also the same. The Sacred Army was planned to be expanded 8 years ago, but in the end it did not. There are still 10,000 people, 10 teams, 100 squadrons, and 1,000 teams. In peacetime, he has been cultivating and delivering talents for the 3 armies of the Empire and other city masters, district governors, etc. Killer B was surprised. You are stupid. Hey, brother, I turned out to be your deputy captain, this position is good. Subconsciously wanted to rap for a while, Killer B stopped at the critical moment. He is very satisfied with this position. He is really not suitable to be a captain, it is best to follow the eldest brother. 4th generation I was also relieved. He was also afraid that Killer B would run to other teams, so few people really got used to it with that rap. Yes, my captain, Hidan couldn't help glaring at Deidara. This guy who has been playing with him since he was a child has actually gotten to the top before him. Deidara's face was solemn. Don't lose me the face of the 2nd Brigade, shut your mouth, this is the command of the brigade captain. Cool, it's so refreshing to explode, this is Deidara's mood. Hidan is on the street. He joined the team 10 years ago, became stronger, grew up together, and was beaten together. Although the comradeship relationship is excellent. But being able to overwhelm Hidan, Deidara feels that he can be cool for decades. The 3rd captain, Hyuga Hinata is a little messy. If I remember correctly, the 3rd group is the true cradle of the empire. Lafay, wrong, Obito, Kimimaro, Shisui, Guy are all from the 3rd team. Kakashi has had a headache for many years to cultivate this pile of thorns. What makes Hinata messy is, the 3rd Brigade has a new generation of thorns, even more thorns than the previous generation. 0. Look for flowers, generally, children are the majority. The captain, my age, should not be suitable for the 3rd team, and can't better lead them to grow. Hyuga Hinata finally raised his head and looked at Conan. Conan smiled. No, no one is more suitable than you. Your existence can spur everyone in the 3rd team to make faster progress. Is that so? Hinata did not propose anymore. I hope the thorns of the 3rd team will be more honest, otherwise my Hinata will be overweight. Conan closed the roster and looked at the crowd. Above, do you have anything you want to say? Everyone glanced at each other and they knelt down and shouted respectfully. Fight for the rise of the Empire. I wish the Empire immortal and your majesty eternal. That's the opinion. Conan is going to take the team captains to handover, match the clothes, and leave here. At this moment, Kagaya coughed slightly, Hyuga Hinata stayed behind. Everyone said differently. So cute. Conan was very nervous seeing Hinata, couldn't help but smiled and touched her hair, then turned and left. Orochimaru also retired. Quickly. Only Lan Yu, Kagaya, and Hinata remain in the main hall. 0. Everything seemed to be back to the day 3 years ago. Your Majesty, how is Hinata's performance on the court? Concubine teaches well, right? Kagaya looked at Lan Yu expectantly, waiting for the praise. Little Hinata immediately shook her hand tightly. Lan Yu said flatly, barely qualified. Wow, Hinata, did you hear that? To Lan Yu's surprise, Kaguya's eyes were bright, and he was particularly delighted. He pulled Hinata and said happily. Have you heard? Your Majesty is complimenting you, saying that you are exceptionally talented, sweet and lovely, strong and amazing. Yan, more qualified as a marshal, great, great. Little Hinata fell in love. Is this real? Why is this not what I heard? No, I'm still young. How can I understand what your Majesty means? I'm still a good teacher. In just 4 words, a lot of words can be understood sharply by the teacher. Sure enough, my Hinata is far behind, the teacher is too wise. Casting an admiring look at Kagaya, Hinata couldn't help being squeezed with joy and nervousness. He raised his head and said crisply, Your Majesty has praised me, I still have a long way to go. Thanks for your praise, I will remember it in my heart. Keep working hard to become better and share your worries for you. Lan Yu. Okay, really worthy of being a master and apprentice. One big clever, one small clever. It is a great honor for Lan Yu to have 2 talents at the same time. Kagaya smiled faintly. Good student, well said. Isn't it any more nervous? Take advantage of the situation. Kagaya chuckled. Little Hinata, since your majesty is so optimistic about you, you must remember to come every morning to greet your majesty, chat with your majesty, and relieve your majesty of loneliness, emptiness, loneliness and coldness. Hinata was stunned. Your majesty is lonely? Very empty, very lonely, very cold? Yes. According to the teacher, your majesty worked diligently for the rise of the empire every day. He had no time to rest, let alone relax. Isn't that? Alone in the hall all day? Oh, your majesty is so pitiful. For a while, little Hinata, who believed Kaguya's words, had red eyes. Tears shed tears. Little Hinata wowed. Your majesty, I will come to accompany you whenever I have time. Ooh, your majesty is too pitiful. Lan Yu. There are so many girls. I am lonely with a hammer. Here comes, the Air Marshal Otsutsuki Kagaya is locked up and kept in confinement for 3 minutes.